Okay, so we are all set to get started. Before we do, how is everybody doing?
Doing okay.
All
Been
right.
a very, very crazy last 2 weeks.
It has. It's been a crazy month, kind of, in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But we are set to get going. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a recap from what all I remember. And if anyone needs to fill in from there, we can. However, before we really get into it, first thing I need to address is unfortunately, he is in chat, but unfortunately, Garanath, who played Rerret the Ogre, has stuff going on in his life and needs to step out from the campaign, at least for a while. So Rerret is functionally retired for the foreseeable future. There is a chance he might return later in the campaign if things work out that way. But basically, the party is going down to the 4 non-ogre players. So Rerret will address what happened to him here at the start when we actually get going. But I just want to go ahead and throw it in here at the beginning that the ogre is no longer with the party, at least for now. That may change in the future, but so if you notice the lack of a very bombastic and beloved character, that is why. So last time, starting kind of back with the incident at Delbers, the city of Delbers, y'all went through the whole shenanigans with where you stole the fingernail clippings from the supposedly holy hand of a prior Grand Theogenist, which you gave to a Ulrican Knight of the White Wolf that you met by the name of Gearden Blackfur. And after that, he gave you some money and praised you all for your efforts in rooting out what may well be what could be a Sigmarite scheme, or also could be Chaos masquerading as a Sigmarite scheme, because hands that have been chopped, or hands that are just continuing to grow and seemingly unable to die is kind of weird, even for Sigmarite stuff. In any event, however, you all left the city of Delbers after some mild shenanigans involving the witch hunter and warrior priest that you encountered there, but you managed to get out of the city with your skin on and made your way south until you arrived at the Coach and Horses Inn. You did encounter a number of things, both on the road to Delbers and the road after Delbers, but essentially, you arrived at the Coach and Horses Inn, where you kind of encountered a number of people. Just a brief highlight to help remind you of the characters that are present in the inn. When you first came in, you met the very talkative and a little overly friendly landlord, Gustav Fondelberger, as well as his right-hand man, Herpen Stiggerwort, who apparently brews their beer. There's also Blackie the Crow, who belongs to Gustav and repeats various things that he hears from the landlord, but doesn't seem to truly understand speech, is more just a bizarre, he just enjoys the sound of it, you could imagine. You also saw 2 coachmen getting very, very drunk and being heavily amused by a halfling who identified herself as P. Lotpocket, and she was doing various tricks, tossing daggers and performing some music, as well as telling some pretty inappropriate jokes, even by halfling standards. So the coachman loved it. You also met a man by the name of Ernst, who seemed like some sort of scholar. He wasn't really that talkative, seemed like kind of a nervous young man, but he was just spending all of his time reading some kind of book about herbology or some nonsense. But after that, sorry, not herbology, but medical training.
Physiology.
Yes, it was a book called, I believe it was The Elf That Looked. His book was called Leeches and Their Curative Properties. You also met Lady Isolde and her 2 attendants, her maid, Jana, who is a very mouse-like squeaky young lady, but Lady Isolde is kind of your typical pompous noble who thinks the world revolves around her and doesn't really enjoy anyone that seems of lower class, which is to say all of you. And her bodyguard, Marie Schultz, who almost got in a fist fight with the ogre, not because she wanted to, but because she was doing her job. Luckily for both her and the ogre, it didn't come to that, though that would have been an interesting contest of strength. The last person you met was Phillipe Descartes, who challenged you all to a game of gambling. After a round or two, y'all figured out pretty quickly that he was more than willing and able to cheat. And when accused of cheating, he simply called the game forfeit and tried to leave. But then Rerret pursued him upstairs, likely trying to intimidate him or maybe looking for what he thought was an easy snack. This led to a confrontation between Descartes and the ogre, where Rerret attempted to charge the man, but he was so on edge and worried about this lumbering brute pursuing him that he was ready for it, and he pulled out a pistol and shot Rerret almost directly in the eyeball. Luckily, this didn't kill Rerret, but it did seriously injure him. And then Descartes ran down the hallway, jumped out a window, and nearly broke his legs, but managed to avoid doing that. And he fled, leaping over the walls surrounding the Coach and Horses Inn. Rerret attempted to pursue him and burst out through the window and fell, unfortunately, not landing very gracefully, and did take some damage. Not a life-threatening amount of damage, but enough to slow him down, certainly. And Rerret, unfortunately, lost the chase, and this is where you all finally caught up with Rerret after hearing the gunshot and the obvious sounds of an ogre yelling in pain and then pursuing someone upstairs, which would make a thunderous racket. The innkeep was not thrilled by this development, but eventually you were all able to get the ogre into the common room so he could rest, and then you all went either to your respective rooms or common rooms, and the night ended with, I believe one of you also, I think someone like gave the barkeep money for the window, if I recall correctly. Or did we not get that far?
Rerret said he was going to give him a gold crown.
That's right. Rerret paid for it. Okay. So, that is where we left off. Descartes has vanished into the wind. Whether or not you will ever see him again is up in the air. But it was getting rather late after the incident. And we're going to kind of essentially hand wave what happened to Rerret. Which is that functionally the way I'm going to kind of GM it is that Rerret, after you had enough of a moment where, actually for the sake of ease, we're going to say that Rerret, his wounds stabilized. You feel confident that he's not in any mortal danger, but he is quite exhausted from the blood loss and also falling and winding himself horribly. So he has settled into the common room and is snoring peacefully. So he is not a concern. He's not going to be moving around anytime soon. Do any of y'all want to do anything? Oh, last question before we actually start. Does anyone have any questions or need any reminders or have any concerns or thoughts or anything before we just throw ourselves into it?
I am good to go. My character does need to go to bed because he's still sick from and my last day was as soon as I go to sleep, and he's also incredibly intoxicated. He needs to sleep this off.
Yeah, so some of y'all are still sick. Worth checking if you are. I think most of you have gotten over it or are about to get over it. I know Dorothandro's no longer sick. I think
this is my last day, so as soon as the morning comes, I will no longer be sick.
Okay, Sigmund, where are you on the sick meter?
I've got like another day and a bit.
Okay,
after the sleep.
And what about you, Thend?
3 days.
Wow, brutal. All right, so I will note that you might want to just to kind of ease us all back into the role play. Your last y'all were kind of chatting about it. You were heading towards Altdorf. That seemed to be the most reliable direction leading to where the Manticore was last sighted, though the Manticore was more seen going south, not really towards Altdorf, but more beyond. But you kind of have to go to Altdorf as the fastest way to get across, unless you wanted to head south through many, 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 many miles of wild, dark forest, which probably would not end well for you. However, you are still at the Coach and Horses Inn. And while it is a straight road from here to Altdorf, it is a long way to Altdorf. So that might be something to consider before you call it a night, or you can always have your characters worry about it in the morning.
I think it would just be best to wait till morning. What do you guys think?
Yeah, maybe we can find some other people heading that way. Maybe the coachman wouldn't mind a couple of us hopping on to help out.
Yo, we have to catch that man first.
I mean, you want to go chasing after him in the dark?
What, are you afraid of the dark?
And I'll kind of stumble over, and because I'm still intoxicated, like, hey, outside of the walls of this establishment, yes, you should be afraid of the dark. It's not. I don't advise running through the Drakwald, pursuing mysterious men in all hours of the night. There are far worse things in there than that bastard.
Well, then I hope he finds those things.
All he can do is hope that whatever's out there gets him before it gets us. Who's gone? I've had enough of today. I'm going to bed. I drunkenly stumble away.
All right. So Sigmund Astaroth making his way back inside. Is there Astaroth? I think you're actually upstairs, aren't you? You're still standing at the window.
Oh, you're right, because I took a shot at him as he tried to go over the wall. If I scroll up, I can see. Yeah. So I actually, you're right. I am still inside. I was not accounting for that.
All right. So you are very easily able to head back and downstairs. As you do see the very, very large, muscular bodyguard Marie waiting in the hallway as you make your way down. Were you staying in the common room, or did you have a private room?
I think we all got private rooms, and Rerret was staying in the common room because he had to.
Oh,
I think
that's right, because y'all are able to share rooms.
Yeah.
So okay, why then you might not go by her unless you decide to actually, because your room is probably going to be here. So if you want, you could easily avoid her and just head straight to your room. She does look directly at you when you come around the corner, and she makes a little bit of a come hither motion from her crossed arms. But if you want, you could just ignore her.
No, I'll go to her if she's motioning for me. I'll stumble over to me. Like, can I help you?
She just nods a little. She says, "I heard a commotion. What happened?"
We were playing. I don't even know the name of the game at this point. I'm sorry. I don't feel very good. But we were playing a game with some gentleman here, and he ended up cheating us out of some money, and we confronted him, and he ran. And he's gone. We couldn't catch him. Now I'm going to bed because I think, drinking more than my weight in alcohol, and I don't feel very well.
She nods and says, "So just private quarrel then?"
Yes, just a private quarrel. We were cheated out of some money by a bastard, and we tried to catch him, but he got away.
All right then, not my problem. Have a good night.
Yeah, you too.
All right, and she heads back to her room.
I will stumble into the room and face plant onto a bed.
Okay.
Whether it is mine or not, I don't know.
Luckily, I think it works on a dib system.
Okay.
All right, the other let's go to Sigmund next. What are you doing?
No, Rerret's settled in. Going to go to the bartender, who's the only one whose name I didn't catch when you're going through the list.
That is I know his last name is Fondelberger because it's hard to forget. Gustav. So as you enter back into the main room, you can see Gustav still looks a little shaken compared to everybody else. But the halfling and the coachman have resumed their antics. You see more drinks have appeared on the table. There is a shocking amount of alcohol present, and you don't see the halfling drinking from any of them. But you do notice that she is all too happy to continue telling jokes and stuff, and money just kind of keeps appearing. Even though it's just like brass and silver, a very consistent flow of money is going from the coachman to the halfling.
I mean, if they want to continue to pay her money, I'm not going to stop them.
Right.
But I'm going to go to Gustav. Excuse me.
He turns and goes, yes, Master, I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name earlier, I think.
Sigmund von Serg.
And you hear Blackie go, Serg name? Serg name? And he goes, yes. How can I be of service to you? I apologize for all the excitement of this evening, but hopefully things will settle down now.
As do we. I was wondering, do you know if anyone other than that fellow that we had a disagreement with is going to Altdorf in the morning?
He kind of leans over and nods his head in the direction of the little performance going on. He says, the only coach we have in right now is going to be heading to Altdorf. Those two are the drivers. I believe everyone, actually, who's staying will be heading there in the morning. I know Lady Isolde and her companions are going, and I believe the young man with the bookish one is also going as well. Isn't it strange to see young men just reading in books? You know, back when I was a lad, they'd be working outside, developing some muscles. I mean, by the time that young man grows up, he's going to be nothing but skin and bones. A stiff breeze is going to give him a cold and kill him.
Indeed. Different times.
He nods and says, what was your childhood like? Were you big into reading as well? Is that just the thing younger men are into these days?
I had a couple tutors that tried to teach me, but pat the sword. I preferred playing with this instead.
Tutors? And at this, he kind of raises an eyebrow and he says, so you've got a bit of a interesting history then. You're not just a farmer's lad.
No. My father manages one of the towns in Visenland for the Duchess.
Did you come from the Wizenland? How are things over there these days?
Things are relatively common these times.
Right? Wait, what do you do in Wizenland? You start getting the creeping feeling that this is a man who is genuinely difficult to get away from when it comes to conversation.
Worked a bit in Nuln, but for the city. But I gotta get some sleep. It's been a long night and it'll be a longer day tomorrow.
Oh, of course. Though, before you go, I must ask, you came out from the Delbers direction, right?
Yes.
You know, I'd heard that a white wolf of Ulrich had been sighted out that way, out of the Drakwald, not far from Delbers. I don't suppose you saw it by chance, did you? They say that's good luck, that seeing a white wolf means you're going to have a fortuitous year, and that winter will be a good season for you.
Well, then looks like I'll have a good winter this year.
You saw it.
I saw him, yeah.
What was it like? I can't imagine actually seeing one in person. They're practically legends.
He was certainly something, but unfortunately, I think he was heading back up the Min. I don't think he's going to be heading this way.
Oh, you seem quite knowledgeable on the subject. Are you a tracker?
Well, I spoke with a man.
At this, he kind of, his eyes narrow a little bit, and then he laughs and he elbows Herpin next to him, who just rolls his eyes and doesn't seem enthused in the slightest. And Gustav slaps his sizable belly and says, "Oh, no, pardon me, Herr Sigmund. A white wolf, like the beast, a white wolf. It's a sign of the god of winter himself, not one of the priests. I have heard, of course, that there are priests in the area. You must have encountered one of them."
I did. But no actual white wolves.
Then the rumor must be true. I bet that's what he was doing there in the first place.
Most likely.
He nods, feeling very good about the source of his sources.
Thank you for the accommodations, but I'm gonna go enjoy them now.
Oh, all right. Sure, I can't make you anything or get you another drink?
Not tonight, my good man.
Although Blackie starts, the crow starts ranting and raving, which gets him a little bit of his attention off of you, enough for you to escape, if you'd be so inclined. Yeah.
Yep.
Thend and Dorthandrel. We'll start with Thend. What are you up to?
I think I'm just grumbling, heading to my room.
All right. You make your way in. As you're marching past everyone, as you're marching past everyone and making your way through, Gustav spies you just as Sigmund manages to drag away from him, and he says, Master Dwarf, may I have you for a moment?" What did you think of our brew? You know, Herpin here has been in the business for quite some time. Herpin, you could see very subtly one of his eyes twitches.
Oh dear. Not bad. But I must head to bed. I'm processing one of my companions getting shot here, and I'm not too keen to speak right now.
He opens his mouth, but your lingering gaze upon him, you see like his desire to engage further very slowly deflates, and his mouth very slowly closes, and he doesn't say anything further.
Okay, and I will march off to my room.
All right, you can choose one of these. So you make your way past. The coachmen are laughing, and you do hear the halfling telling some sort of story. And she's punctuating various points of it with a pair of daggers that she's very casually flipping between her hands. And her story seems to have something to do with the only part you catch is something about the difference between an Averlander and a Sturlander, and you hear some mention of sheep, but you don't catch the punchline. Dorthandrel.
After checking that Rerret's bandages are indeed very aesthetically pleasing, and he hasn't ruined them on the way to the common room, Dorthandrel's gonna head to get some sleep.
All right. As you make your way into the inn proper, once again, Gustav is encouraged. There's someone else to talk to. And as you approach, he goes, Master Elf, could I get you anything? Another drink? Some food, perhaps?
bar of soap and a bath. Do you have that?
I do. It's not anything as fancy as what you may have back in your home, but it suffices.
Then it shall suffice.
That's of course. We normally don't only use it. Obviously I use it myself very rarely, but just occasionally to keep things nice. But it's out near, not too far from the horses.
What a delightful place to put a bath.
So he has you. Oh wait, I put y'all in the servants' quarter. So y'all go up here. And then Thin can go. Oh my gosh, brain. Common house, bedrooms. Oh, that's right. Y'all. Now I remember. Y'all were sharing private rooms. There we go. All right. He sent you basically to the, I believe it is, he sent you out here-ish. So you're kind of around like the stores and the smithy and the brew house and stuff, and he gets you set up and accommodated. It's not great. It's basically like a large tub / glorified bucket with cold water. But there is actual soap. It's functional. That is the best way to describe it. But it is there.
It is there, and it does not have 30 children watching. This is such an elevation.
Yes, you do note it is something else.
Right, then Dorthander will take a bath and attempt to remove the lingering scent of the fetid stink he still has.
All right. You are able to have a bath, and despite the fact that it is cold and you're kind of essentially forced to bathe in, it's not bad, all things considered. All right. By the time you finish up, and you pass back through, if you want, you can head to your room, or you can head to the bar again if you'd like. You don't actually have to cut through the bar unless you want to head to a particular area.
No, Dorthander will go and find a room that doesn't have the dwarf.
Okay, that I figured as much. I will put you there. All right. The night passes without incident. If any of you are missing wounds, you may roll a challenging endurance test in order to try and heal some of them. And if you were ill for a day, you may do the shindig to reduce it by a day.
Going to sound silly, but refresh my memory. For the wound section under combat, it says current wounds and max wounds. I don't think I took any hits, but my current wounds is 13 and my max is 11.
So hold on, let me look at. Let's see. Current wounds 13. Oh, I think it's because you have hardy. Yes. So
that's why. So I get 2 bonus because of hardy.
Hardy is you gain a permanent addition to your wounds equal to your toughness bonus. So your max should be 14, I think, not 11, because it's your toughness plus your oh gosh. Hold on. Give me a hot second. Let's see.
Yeah.
What's up?
It's addition to wounds equal toughness bonus.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I need to find myself what the base for
I
wounds
believe it's
is.
2 times toughness bonus plus willpower bonus.
Okay, so for you that would be 6 plus 2.
I think strength is in there too.
Yes, it's strength bonus plus 2 times toughness plus willpower. Okay. So, it's actually different depending on your race. But no, it's only different for halflings. So, for you, it's going to be 3, 9, 11. So you're going to have 14 wounds because you have a toughness of 3.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're going to go to your combat tab. So your current wound should be 14, and then I'm going to fix your sheet real quick. Because Hardy's just a butt on this. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to do a wounds mod of 3. And then I'm going to go back to your combat page. And there you go. Now it's working.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
By the way, just a reminder, everyone, please refresh your fortune points and note if you have like luck or something that would give you an additional fortune point. But so be sure that you update all that. Because at the start of every session, you get your fortune points. Oh, also, did everyone spend their experience?
I did, yes.
Okay.
Was that session 7 or somebody else with the character sheet? Just go back and make sure. Was it session 7 or session 8? Okay.
7.
This is it.
Perfect. I was like, did I forget to add session?
No, you're all good. All right.
Okay, cool.
Okay, Thind, so you're going to heal 5 plus your toughness bonus. So I imagine you're back at full health.
Yep.
All right, anyone else need to heal?
Yep, but I failed again.
Cool. One day, Dorthandra, one day. All right, so the night passes without incident, and you awake in the morning. Once we'll go reverse list this time. Dorthandra, you awaken in the morning. Although you were clean, a bit refreshed, you don't necessarily feel any better. You kind of almost miss sleeping on a boat on the ocean or the rivers, sleeping in these garbage beds that humans are apparently okay with, not to mention sharing a room with another human who was coughing in his sleep throughout the night. It was not great.
Ugh. I will look around and decide that I shall go down for a breakfast.
Okay. As you head down in the morning, you do see that a number of people are already up and at 'em. Most of the patrons. As you enter the room, the halfling, who has the little circles of like clown makeup, like you could tell that she seems to carefully reapply and keep up like a nice appearance. She's a little grungy as you are on the road, but you can tell there's effort made. And she turns and looks and she goes, "Ah, it ain't the pointy eater. Good morning."
Ah, 'tis the little pea.
She chuckles and kind of gestures from her stool. She says, "Why not join me for a pip? It's not often I get to spend time with many of your folk. I'd like to try out some material and see if you'd find it interesting."
What is this pip?
She goes, "Oh, that's just me saying you should join me for some food for just a little bit of time. A pip of time."
This... Sure. It will suffice.
All right, you join her at a seat, and she kind of waves and she says, "Oh, Gustav, could you bring some food over? And since I'm going to be taking some of your time, Master Elf, I'll cover your breakfast as a means of thanks."
Dorthander will nod as he begins to lay out his cutlery set.
She kind of whistles at it. She goes, "Oh, mighty impressive that. Do all elves come with that?"
Well, no, usually it's better. He will look at the fork.
She chuckles and she says, "Ah, well, I'm sorry that you got shorted on the standard issued elf defense properties."
Well, this is specifically for eating. I would not sully anyone by stabbing them with it.
She winks at you and she says, "Have you seen the swill these people eat? I think their weapons all the same."
I was under the impression at least the drink here was better.
Kind of a moment passes. She goes, "All right, so that's the first one that didn't land right."
Well, there is a brewer in this establishment. I understand that it is better than most of the area. Some situational awareness to your jokes may work.
She smiles and she says, "Could I do something to would you find perhaps impressive? I could make a sketch of you, perhaps."
Dorothander will nod slowly.
She goes, "Ah, wonderful." And she reaches into one of her pockets and she pulls out a small, it's not terribly large, it's a small piece of paper. You can tell she's probably taken some parchment that she found somewhere, who knows where, and torn it up into smaller shreds to make it more manageable and easy to carry on her person. And she lays it on the table and she kind of looks at you and she holds up a thumb and sticks a tongue out, closes one of her eyes and squints the other one, and she moves her thumb kind of around a bit. And then she pulls out a small piece of charcoal, kind of like edged into a point. And she starts to draw as your food arrives. And Gustav places your food and says, "Ah, morning, Master Elf. Good morning. I hope you slept well."
I slept. Good morning to you, Master Gustav.
He nods and says, "Could I interest you in anything in particular? Is there anything I could do for you before I head back to the bar?"
I think I will be fine. Though, I'll wait till after my companion's awake.
He kind of hovers, like hoping he can maybe will you. He says, Are you sure? I'm not doing anything terribly important at the moment. I'm sure it'd be no trouble."
Well, then you can have a seat and have a look at P's marvelous drawing. Dorthandel doesn't even look at what she's doing as he begins to eat.
All right. He does actually take the seat next to you, and he looks at you for a moment. He goes, "Is it true that your people come from the bottom of the sea?"
Oh, no, from the top of the sea.
He sort of nods, and you can tell he sort of thinks for a moment. He goes, "All right. So." He kind of pauses for a moment. He just sort of drums his fingers as if trying to think. He goes, "Is it true that your ears are longer because they allow you to detect the weather?"
Dorothandrel will pause. Consider this quaint human perspective. Is that a common belief among your kind?
Well, I wouldn't say it's a common belief, but it's something I heard once from someone passing through.
Well, it is an interesting belief, but I do not recall anyone ever being able to hear the weather at a greater distance with their ears because they are larger. It is because we are elves.
Huh. Well, that's a quite bit disappointing, and he looks genuinely a little put out.
Nom, nom, nom.
Fair enough. Okay, we're gonna pop over to Thend. What are you doing?
I'll sort of pull myself up, go outside, and from the destroyed hole in the wall, the destroyed window, I'll just sort of look out and see, look into the distance.
Okay, so you're gonna go over here, doing the classic Thend.
Yep.
Luckily, with the cover, there's no worry of birds, but you see the Drakwald stretching onwards. You do notice, however, that it is quite overcast today, and those clouds look mighty heavy. Which reminds me, and since being so good about checking the weather, roll for the weather table.
Oh, what's that? D100?
Yes. Oh. I just need the proper. A 5. Extreme. I don't know what kind of extreme, but extreme. Let's see here. Weather. It is spring. However, you are in the north, so that adds to the penalty. It is fair. It is fair weather today. So there are some heavy looking clouds out there, but the temperature it's chilly but pleasant. And there's no rumble of thunder, and there's kind of like a breeze, and you can see like the clouds are moving, but you know, might rain later. But for now, nice.
Okay. Do I see what's his face?
No. No, you see a wall, and then past the wall, the tops of the tree, the dark, ominous Drakwald into the distance, and clouds.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'll go down to the bar then.
All right, you make your way down into the bar room.
Mm-hmm.
And as you come down the stairs, you notice, you see Lady Isolde and her attendants, and you see that Lady Isolde is kind of tapping her fingers seemingly impatiently on some sort of case that she has next to her. And she sort of disdainfully looks in your direction for but a moment. Her eyes like linger on you enough to register your existence, and then immediately go back to trying to find something else to look at. And you do see Dorathandrel sitting at a table with a dejected-looking Gustav and a halfling who is seemingly busy drawing something. Or writing.
I'll do a quick look at the case. Does it look like, is it just like a box? Or does it have any...
It looks to be, if you had to guess, which you are, is probably something, it's like a decent size personal box / case meant to carry something. It could be, if you had to guess, it's probably an instrument of some sort. It looks vaguely flutish in shape and size. So that would probably be your best bet, but hard to tell.
All right. It is no longer interesting to me, and I will go to Gustav.
All right. As you approach, Gustav immediately perks up and looks at you, and he goes, "Ah, Master Thend, how can I help you this morning?"
I was wondering, did Phillipe have a room here?
He did, yes, on the second floor. Why do you ask?
Is it okay if I check that? I'm looking for, I would like to know more about his whereabouts.
Oh, I don't know about that, Master Dwarf. He did take the key with him, so I'll need to have someone. I do have an extra, but going into another person's quarters, I mean, that would fall under you could see that there is a temptation there, but he also seems to be struggling with it.
As far as I can tell,
Hey.
he's a criminal.
How he broke your window.
Dorthandel, at that mention, Gustav just goes, "You're right. We could take a look for a moment. Come. And he stands up, and as he walks with you, you do hear him mutter something along the lines of, "Can you believe that the elf has those long ears and they don't do anything?"
Never thought of it much.
He leads you outside and across to the other building that is connected by the second floor. And you approach one of the rooms, and he pulls out a key, he unlocks it, and he opens it, and he walks into the room. But the thing that you notice very quickly is that the room is basically immaculate, and there is nothing out of place. And he sort of looks around and says, "Well, doesn't even look like he ever came in here. So I'm sure he did."
What's it? I'll do a quick examination of the room. Anything like under covers or like like under the bed, or I won't like toss it up, but
Yeah, you do a pretty thorough inspection and you not find anything. Like, you can tell, especially based on smell, that he definitely came in here and probably spent some time sleeping, or because like there is a bit of a odor that reminds you of him, and there's also kind of the smell of alcohol as well. But it doesn't seem to have, either he carried everything he had on him, or he just didn't really have anything.
well,
Gustav looks equally disappointed.
at least that's curiosity sated.
Yes,
I'm,
an important thing.
I will. I'll check up on the ogre then. Thank you, though.
He nods and he makes his way back to the bar.
All right, and then I will go and check in on Rerret.
All right, you enter the common room where you left the ogre, only to realize there's no ogre.
Sort of blink twice, look around. Is there anyone else in here?
Nope. The room
Okay,
is empty. You see some dried blood where y'all set Rerret down. That you remember spilling onto the ground before he got all bandaged up. But other than that, you have functionally vanished. Which you find very hard to believe.
Okay, then I will go back to the party then.
Okay. As you enter the room, pretty much as you're walking in, you hear the halfling go, "Well done!" And she slams her hand on the table and spins a piece of paper in front of Dorthandel. Dorthandel, you look down and are shocked to see a very genuinely impressive sketch of your visage.
That is something I would not expect to find in the middle of the Drakwald at an inn.
She laughs and she goes, well, that's the important thing of having a good entertainer, is that we keep things, well, entertaining, even in the most boring of places.
Dorthander will give a nod and look towards where Lady Isolde went, and how did that pitch, before leaning his head down and whispering, how did that pitch go with her ladyship?
She'll kind of glance in Lady Isolde's question, and you know direction. You notice Lady Isolde and Hannah or Yana are too busy focusing on one another and their own things, but Marie instantly notices you looking, and she doesn't say anything. She doesn't even give you a hostile look. She basically just kind of functionally acknowledges you. But P sort of chuckles and she goes, "Oh, hoity-toity like that? You know."
So not entertained then.
They don't tend to look very fondly on the peasant. Well, I won't repeat the rude term she used for me, but I think she considers my form of humor to be low class.
Well, it does lack the clink of gold.
Aye, that it does.
So your drawing is sufficient and quite good.
She goes and goes, "Oh, I know. Don't suppose you want to buy it? Though I could keep it myself for those lonely nights."
Dorathandrel will shudder. Look torn as he looks at the picture. And then ask how much.
"Oh, I won't rob you blind. You've been a good sport. How about, I mean, my talents are pretty rare in this part of the Empire. You said so yourself. Let's say 10 brass.
Well, it is an honor to at least alleviate the lonely night.
She nods and she goes, "You know, I might make a bit more of a profit selling it. I bet I could even recreate it and start selling it to places for... Yeah, I could do that when I go to the Schaffenfest."
What is this Schaffenfest? And why do I have concerns about this? This is 10 brass, you say?
Well, I could be moved to lower it a little bit.
Dorathandrel's going to take out his pouch and consider.
She has a very mischievous glint in her eye. Not sinister, but mischievous.
Dorathandrel's going to pull out his empty pouch with, like, grooming equipment in it, rustle around, and then realize that he has no money.
P kind of, like, hears the lack of noise, and she looks over and she goes, "Oh, terribly sorry, dear. I didn't realize those were your circumstances. Tell you what."
It's hard to be a sailor away from, well, a river or ocean.
You're a sailor in the Drakwald.
Yes. It has been an ordeal.
You do know the humans don't take boats on land, don't you? I don't know how they do things back where you come from.
Well, I'll tell you a story if in exchange for that bauble, and I will point to the picture.
She slides it over and she says, "Oh, you can have it. I didn't have the heart to rob you for it anyway. But could I perhaps get a song from you instead?"
Oh, I could do a song.
She looks elated that she goes, "Oh, I'd love to add an elf song to the ones they know."
Well, if you intend to sing it, I won't sing an elf song, but I did hear a song in Marienburg that I've done a bit of a personal flavor to.
She nods eagerly and she says, "That's elf enough for me. If an elf's singing it, that's an elf song."
Dorathandrel will nod after I finish my meal.
He nods and says, "Oh, of course, of course." Thind, back to you.
Dorathandrel. Looks like Rerret is gone.
Misplaced or gone?
I haven't found him. He's not in the common room.
Gustav.
Is there a hole in the gate?
Gustav looks with his jaw dropped. He goes, "The ogre! The ogre's gone!" And he says it very loudly, so everyone kind of like turns and looks, but no one seems particularly upset.
did he get over the wall?
At this, Herpin, kind of gruffly, as he's cleaning a glass and setting it down in front of the dwarf, says, "He didn't. I let him out."
Oh, is this of his own accord?
Yeah. Said something about a mouth or something. I think he went chasing after that Descartes fellow what shot him.
Oh, it's not on my business to stop him then.
Herbert does reach into his pocket and he pulls out a gold crown and sets it next to Gustav, where it very quickly vanishes. And Gustav looks much more relieved. And you just hear Blackie you just hear him go, "Mom! Just Mom!" And Gustav turns and goes, "Oh, well, is there anything I could get you, Master Thend?"
Just some food and more of your drink.
All right, that'll be 6 brass.
All right, I'll pay up.
All right, he delivers. Either take your food over to a different table, or you can eat it at the bar.
I'll eat at the bar.
All right, Sigmund, you're up. Literally.
Ugh. Ugh. Yeah. Ugh. Still sick.
What would you like to do?
Going to exit a room. Also approach the giant Kool-Aid man size hole in the wall. Peer out and then make my way downstairs.
All right, you look outside and see pretty much everything the Thin did. There's a wall, trees, clouds. But you make your way downstairs. As you come down the stairs, Lady Isolde and Jana expectantly look at the stairs, and then when they see it's you, Jana looks more kind of like nervous, and Lady Isolde just looks irritated, and they go back to not looking.
It's an expression I'm unfortunately familiar with working as the watchman.
You do see the elf sitting at a table with the halfling, and they're just kind of exchanging words over food. But you also do see Thend over at the bar, sitting opposite from the young man you saw yesterday, who is once again poring over his book.
I will approach the bar, ask for some breakfast.
All right. Herpin growls at you 6 brass.
Hand over the 6 brass.
All right. Food and some beer to wash it down with is quickly produced.
I will join the halfling and Dorthandrel.
As you sit. Yeah, not that kind of sick.
Very sick.
When did you get the flux?
Yeah. Dorthandrel, you don't have the flux anymore, right?
No.
Okay, good. As you sit, she nods and she goes, I don't believe I made your acquaintance.
Sigmund Fast von Sereg, at your service.
She stands on her stool and does a very over-the-top bow and says, "And I am P. Lotpock."
Pleasure as well. I'm just dip my head.
She sort of looks at you and she goes, Sigmund von, what was the last name again, dear?
Sereg.
Sereg. Ooh, with a von, you must be very important. And look at that chin. And she reaches over and wipes one finger down your across your steadily growing out beard and she says, "Now I know a man of noble bearing."
Minor as it is, and just going to put my hand on my coin pouch
Uh,
as I.
she nods and goes, "Yes, but do you know what really gives it away? It's something you should really watch out about."
What's that?
And she reaches up, and she grabs something behind your ear, and she pulls out 2 silver coins and says, "You can't just go having these hanging around everywhere. Gives you away way too easily."
I appreciate warning me, and I'll hold out my hand, expecting them back.
She laughs and she goes, "Oh dearie, I'm a performer, not a thief. These are mine. If you want, you can check your purse just to be safe."
I won't do it like directly afterwards, but like when she turns back to Dorothandra, I'll like laying down and check his pocket.
Dorothandra will pause from his eating, look wide, and then turn to Gustav and says, "Do human ears hide silver shillings?"
Gustav,
Is that what they're for?
Gustav shakes his head and just sort of says, "No, but halfling fingers do tend to find them." Both of you sitting at the table with P, roll me a... Oh my god, I'm having such a brain fart all of a sudden. Insight check.
Insight. What difficulty?
Challenging.
Intuition?
Sorry, intuition, not insight. Wrong game. All right, Sigmund, you don't notice it, especially because you're focused far more on using your fingers to try and tactily figure out if there's any coins missing from your bag. Dorothandra, you do very, very faintly catch something flicker across P's face at that comment, but she hides it very well. Astaroth, you wake up. You feel so much better.
I was gonna say, I'm not sick, but do I have to roll to see if a hangover is going to affect me or not?
Nope, you're fine. You got a full night's sleep. You're good.
Okay.
You feel very refreshed.
God. Oh, I feel great. The old Von Herlstein bloodline. Drink as much as I want. Feel great. And I will head down for breakfast.
The joys of being in your 20s. All right. You make your way downstairs, and as you do so, as you do, and you come tromping down, feeling good about life, and like nothing could sour your day. You come down, and the noise of your footsteps attracts the attention of Lady Isolde and both Marie and Jana, who all look at you, and Lady Isolde scowls. She looks thunderously furious, but doesn't say anything, and they all she looks away. Marie, you only catch the slightest, tiniest bit of a smirk, and Jana looks pale.
Okay. Well, I'll take note of that, but I will just continue on to my companions.
Okay. So you can, as you walk over to them, he looks over and she goes, "Another handsome man." She looks over at the elf and she goes, "Are you a traveling bunch of..." Well, I won't say it out loud in polite company, but I'm starting to think maybe I should be making sketchings and selling these. Look at all of you with your sharp, chiseled chins and your high cheekbones.
Oh, boys, I know we all like a pretty lass, but you could have done me a favor and woken me up. You told me you had such one eating breakfast, would you?
P does the "oh you," and she holds up a hand to her cheek, and she goes, "I haven't caught your name, handsome."
Astaroth von Hurlstein. Pleasure to meet you. What is your name?
Von Hurlstein, another one. You really are a traveling group of noble strippers, aren't you?
So it would seem.
She smiles. She says, "I'm P. Lost Pocket."
Nice to meet you, P. I'm sure you've heard this many a time, but I would say you're a sweet P.
she genuinely laughs. She goes, but it never gets old.
And I'll turn to Sigmund and Fandral and say, "Oi, where's the big man?"
He's out wandering the Drakwald looking for Phillipe.
Ah. So he's out trying to continue to hunt for that tricky bastard. Did he say when he'd be back?
No, apparently he left in the middle of the night.
Really?
P sighs and says, "That is a shame. I did want to try a few more tricks for the ogre. They always are so easily amused. And I don't mean that in a bad way. They're just, it's so easy to bring joy to them, which just makes me so happy. All you have to do is do a little trick with food, and man, they are all for it."
You might take more than just the food you offer.
Yeah.
Oh, they always take, that's true, but that's where other tricks come in handy. They do love very simple jokes, which is great, because you don't have to think that hard about it.
So lads, what are we supposed to continue on? Or are we waiting for him to get back?
Herbin did, not for you, but for the others, he did mention something about Rerret saying going east, and the Maw, but other than that, it was very vague. But he did, Herbin, if you want, you can ask Herbin about that. I won't fill in any more information there.
Yeah, no, I'll turn to Herpin and say, did the ogre say anything about if he was coming back, or where he was going?
He kind of like, Herpin kind of looks up, trying to recall memory, and just sort of shakes his head and says, "No, definitely didn't seem like it was a I'm coming back situation. Took everything with him. Was mumbling a lot. Didn't seem all there. Almost like he was thinking about something. I don't know. It was weird."
Did you catch anything that he was saying when he was mumbling?
Something about going east, catching a slim, something like a mouth or a maw or a star.
Oh, by the gods! And at this point, I just sit down, kind of dejected. He's head back east. He's head back home to his maw. Well, looks like we've lost the ogre.
P kind of looks up. She goes, "Oh, well, that's nice that he's going to visit his ma. I mean, it's important to see family from time to time."
I don't know if I got it quite right, but I'm pretty certain he was from near Britonia, from his stories.
Gibson Gristle Valley.
Yes, but he always started about leaving and tasting Britonians.
Yeah.
I believe he's headed towards his true home, where all ogres tend to come from. I've heard that they come from far east. And whatever the maw is that he always talks about, the great maw, as he would always say, is out that way. And I don't... If he's really headed back that direction, he's not going to be back for a while. Well, that put the damper on the Manticore hunt. On one end, it's great for me, because I don't have to bargain with giving him half of the pelts and the bones and everything. I can keep everything for us. But
the halfling's eyes shoot up, as do a couple of the people's in the room, and just more due to the audacity of your comment, but P is genuinely caught and says, "You're hunting the Manticore."
And I'll turn to my companion and say, "Was I not supposed to say that?
No, it's
I didn't
just
think it was that big of a deal."
not everyone goes hunting for manticores, Stroth.
She goes, no, everyone here is heading for Altdorf, but to chase a beast that big, well, you wouldn't catch me doing that willingly.
Well, I happen to be out from the area of Talabekland, and I grew up hunting, so it's nothing unusual for me, at least.
Have you not seen other travelers coming this way looking for it?
She goes, oh, maybe I must admit I've been busy worrying about other things. I'm just trying to get to the Schaffenfest. I'm surprised that's not where you lads are going.
No, unfortunately, we will not be attending the Schaffenfest this year.
What is this Schaffenfest?
He looks over, she goes, oh, it's a grand festival. It's a little ways past Altdorf. Once you get to the capital, you keep following along the road, heading more due east until you reach Bogenhafen. But it's a delightful thing. Lots of food, and they're going to be selling tons of different kinds of animal. There's a special tax that's removed, you see. So everyone shows up, and there's games and parties and lots of people making money and selling things and buying things, and it's a wonderful time. I'm heading there to perform a bit myself, see if I can meet some success. You hear Gustav speak up a little bit, and he goes, ah, yes, the Schaffenfest is one of the biggest events of the year in the Reichland. You'd be fools to miss it. And I've heard that this year's is going to be the biggest ever.
I'll turn to the group and say, hey, I didn't even think of this.
That's a lot of bees.
Well, I'll lean into Sigmund, and just because I'm trying to not have everyone hear every moment of my conversation and say, Manticore's headed south and this festival is going on. With how more confident its attacks have been, who's to say it won't attack the festival?
You say that at the table?
I'm whispering to Sigmund.
Okay. Over the halfling? Or are you moving around the halfling?
I move around. I didn't realize halfling was in between me and Sigmund. Yeah, I'll step around.
Okay. All right. Okay. I will. The halfling is surprisingly courteous and does not attempt to overhear your conversation. Andrew, if you want to, you easily pick it up.
Oh, it must be the long ears.
All right, Sigmund, what do you say to that?
I was thinking the same thing. It's a lot of animals, easy prey. There's so many around.
Actually, might be worth investigating. So I think we should head in that direction. We're already headed that way anyways, but I think that's where we should set our sights.
And if not, it's a nice day at the festival. We can afford to enjoy ourselves for a day.
Exactly.
He is like leaning back respectfully, but when she tells your conversation is kind of wrapping up, she leans forward and she goes, not to get to stick my nose in where it's not welcome, lads, but you know, if you could catch or kill the beast, you could probably sell at the Schaffenfest for a fortune.
That's somewhat of the plan, whether it's the Schaffenfest or somewhere else. We're going to attempt to claim the bounty on the Manticore and, make do with what we get. So, however we make the money, it doesn't matter to me, as long as at the end I get my pay.
Oh, a reasonable point of view, I think. And she sort of looks over at Dorothy and says, are you almost done eating, dear? I must admit I'm getting quite peckish for that song of yours.
Well, Dorthan will look down at his empty plate and realize he's been putting things off.
Oh, what's that?
To clean his cutlery.
She looks at you and she kind of leans over and jokingly elbows Sigmund in the arm. She says, "Oh, he's got a bit of the stage jitters."
I think he's just embarrassed to perform such in front of such a beautiful lass.
She
Dorothendo glares at Sigmund.
she
He was me.
if she's blushing, she mimes as if she would be, but is with the amount of like makeup she has on for her face, you probably wouldn't be able to tell anyway. But she goes, you two are naughty lads. If your goal, though, is to get to Altdorf and to the Schaffenfest, I do advise you probably want to catch the coach with me and everyone else.
Probably be our best bet.
Yeah, I would say so. That sounds like a grand plan.
She goes, unless
And
you want to walk the 50 miles to Altdorf, that is.
No, absolutely not. Is Thend near us, or is Thend on the other side of the...
He's
bar over
Shouting from the bar.
if he wants to come over, he can. But as of the moment, he is sitting at the corner near the door.
I'm just gonna look around, and be like, "Where's Thend?" And I'm gonna find him and say, "Oh, come here. Have you eaten?
Just finished.
You just finished? Oh, okay. I was gonna buy you some breakfast. I gotta get my own before we head out."
I will admit, I've been listening in a bit. We've already been scammed once. How much would it cost to travel in your with your group?
P kind of shrugs. She says, "Oh, I don't know, dearie. That'd be up to the coachman. But they're..." And she kind of looks around. She goes, what are they?" And then she kind of smirks and she goes, "Oh, never mind. I bet I know where they are." Once again, looking mischievous.
Raise an eyebrow at her.
And she reaches over and pats a very swollen coin pouch, and she says, "I think they're sleeping off last night's misadventures."
Right. Well, even if they are inclined to charge us, we can at least barter our services as swords to help out with the cost, maybe.
She nods. Okay, so at this point, I'm just going to do my only GM insert of the session, hopefully, which is that something that before I kind of advance to the next major plot point, whenever y'all are in an inn or talking to characters or something, a skill that's really important in this game, but it's very easy to forget about, though you don't have to use it. I'm not telling you have to use it. I'm just putting it in your brains. Consider is the gossip skill. Right now, you know things like there is a Schaffenfest, and these people are going to Altdorf, but gossip is a good way to find out about a lot of things going on in the area, or even things going on in the wider empire. It's how you would like functionally discover like side quests or even major quests. Like I said, you don't have to do it, and it won't always succeed. And even if it does succeed, you might learn something that's totally useless or a lie. You can also use gossip to spread rumors. Want to, if you think that somehow might aid you in some goal, or just because you think it's fun. So that's just something to keep in mind. I'm not going to be like, okay, now everyone roll a gossip check. I'm just dropping that seed, and you can do with it what you will.
Yeah, no, thank you. It's like you said, it's been a hot minute, so
yeah,
good to.
Just because we're very quickly coming up to the point where we will be leaving this space.
All right.
So-
Well, I will begin my song then, now that I have finished this breakfast.
Oh, he looks very excited, and she actually says, "Oh, one moment, dear. Let me grab something." And she runs upstairs real quick, and not only a few moments later, she comes back down, and she's holding a lute.
Ah.
And she looks at you expectantly, and her fingers are ready to roll.
All right.
Do you have the sing skill?
I do have entertain singing.
Woo! This might actually be an interest. This might actually be good. All right, she is going to attempt to accompany you with her loot. So she's going to roll a challenging play loot check. And since this is a song you are well familiar with, and this is like a decent circumstance, we're just gonna what kind of song are you gonna go for?
It's a shanty.
It's a proper sea shanty. You know what? For you, we're gonna do average.
Hey. Oh, that's.
That's for
Yeah,
P.
yeah. Me and Hawk were like, ooh.
That would have been great if it was mine.
I don't think he has a 70 in sing, though. I could be wrong.
I mean, it would be nice. So
He's about to roll a 1.
Yeah, since you have her helping you out.
Oh.
Ooh.
all right. Well,
Could use
there
a fate
was a
point.
ship at a safari, such a starry sight I never did see, with rigging tangled and sails torn to see those mages row. Soon will the Carthic come to laugh and sell them subparum, and once the trading's done, they'll take their coin and go. The ship was not 2 weeks from shore when down on her a leviathan bore, and as the captain shouting swore, the amber wizard groaned. Soon will the Carthic come to laugh and sell them subparum, and once the trading's done, they'll take their coin and go. Before the ship could hit the water, the beast's claw came up and caught her all hands to sides as an amber spear forced it to let go. Soon will the Carthic come to laugh and sell them subparum, and once the trading's done, they'll take their coin and go.
Amazing.
Sorry.
Genuinely amazing. So,
Yeah.
okay.
I don't think the roll matters. I think he just gets.
So
to
here's the
succeed.
thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I didn't realize you were gonna actually sing the song. So for that, I would have
Oh,
made
okay.
it. I would have made it a very easy check instead of an average check, which means it would have been.
Oh, then I'll keep singing, because I was going to interpret the failure as just like me breaking up in the middle.
Oh, if you want to, by all means.
The lines were cut, the ship was freed, but the captain's mind was not to flee, for he belonged to Dakari's creed, he'd slay that beast below. Soon will the Carthic come to laugh and sell them subparum, and once the trading's done, they'll take their coin and go. For 40 days, or even more, they hunted round coast and shore, past wrecks of boats that came before, and still that ship fought on. Soon will the Carthic come to laugh and sell them subparum, and once the trading's done, they'll take their coin and go. As far as I've heard, the fight's still on, the hull is cracked, but the ship's not gone. The Carthic make their regular call to encourage captain, crew, and all. Soon will the Carthic come to laugh and sell them subparum, and once the trading's done, they'll take their coin and go. Soon will the Carthic come to laugh and sell them subparum, and once the trading's done, they'll take their coin and go.
He is elated, and there is genuine applause from there's genuine applause from Gustav. Herpin looks shockingly impressed. How does the party react?
I think by the second fucking verse, Sigmund is trying to sing along.
Yeah, same with Astaroth.
It's actually
I've
not-
already got a beer.
Yeah, it's not that hard to pick up, especially with like P even gives you guys like P figures it out super quick as being a very steward performer herself. So she gives you both like the kind of like, all right, it's chorus time look.
Yeah.
P is so over the moon. She claps. She goes, "That was wonderful. I will take that everywhere I go with me."
Dorthunder has a smug smirk as he imagines his mother's face if she ever hears this song.
You actually hear a little bit of a gasp from behind you, and Lady Isolde pipes up and goes, "Well, that was lovely, though a little more, shall I say, not a style I prefer, but the two of you, that was a impressive performance.
Dorothy will give her a polite nod.
She returns your nod. She unfortunately her mood like kind of sours a little bit, and she looks around and realizes that now she kind of has attention on her. She goes, "Where are those accursed coachmen? We should have left by now."
I'm going to lean in because I was going to ask this at some point and say, "Oi, does anyone know who they are? And did they give you nasty looks when you walked in? Because I got a couple of glares from two of them when I walked through the door."
I think
Did any of you have the
expecting
similar
you were
experience?
be the coachman.
Yeah, I think they're just impatiently waiting for their ride. And we're not them, so.
P, do you know anything about them?
She better. She spent all last night entertaining.
Well, this would be a good time for a
Is
gossip
this
roll.
gossip? Yeah.
Yes. Sorry, what was your question?
I was just asking if she knew anything about the three of them because I got mean looks walking when I walked in, and it sounds like everyone else did.
Yeah,
So
roll an average gossip check. P conspiratorially leans over and she goes, "Well, other than them being the hoity-toity lot and knowing that they're probably the reason the coach is here in the first place, can't say I know too much other than that Lady Isolde is some, well, at least she claims to be some Altdorf," and she kind of like making sure that her back is turned to Lady Isolde so she can't quite see the gesture. She takes her thumb and like pulls up the edge of her nose a bit. Then she says, "That being said, she goes, the only thing I could think is, that big woman with her is definitely a guard, so that's probably rings true. Doesn't surprise me. There's been a lot of rumors going about bandit attacks between Delbers and Altdorf. They say that only last week a coach failed to get through, and taking down a coach is not easy. They carry blunderbuss on that." These are
Who's got a coach? Really?
Yes, these are troubled times. You know, I've been hearing folks saying that the Emperor has stopped looking after small folk, but I don't know, for as small as I am, that's not that big of a change.
I wouldn't lose faith in the Emperor just yet. But I'm just curious. I'm just thinking to myself, like Sigmund said, they're more than likely just impatiently waiting for the coach and upset that every time someone walks through the door, we're not the coach. I don't know, I had a weird feeling. Got to roll for intuition for that? To see if, like,
Yeah, sure. Roll challenging intuition.
feel like they were upset with me or one of us. But yeah, challenging.
They
Nope.
hate you.
Okay.
They hate you specifically. You're not, like, you feel pretty confident that either something you said last night that you don't remember saying for some reason, maybe to them, like, Lady Isolde she's got, you know, she's working it, so to speak. She's got some assets, and you suddenly have this creeping suspicion feeling you may have made a comment to that effect.
By the gods, I don't remember half of last night. I don't remember anything up until that bastard ran off with the money. How much money did we lose, by the way? Was it just a couple of brass and some silver? Or does anybody know?
If I recall,
I don't-
if I recall correctly, I believe y'all prevented him from taking your money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
okay,
technically
okay.
the dwarf has won money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ah,
I won
okay.
money, and then he cheated the next round trying to get it back, and we caught him.
Yeah, y'all,
Oh,
y'all-
okay,
y'all
I
caught
thought
him
he-
cheating instantly.
I thought he like hid some coins in his sleeve or something. But okay,
No.
that was just me misremembering. Well, lads, and I just kind of brush off the way I'm feeling. I think it's time to get things in order. Is everyone ready to go?
Well, I think we're now also waiting for the coachman.
You do see
Didn't be.
you do see Lady Isolde whisper to her handmaiden, and the poor girl grows like somehow. You suspect if it was physically possible for her to become pale enough to become transparent, she would have reached that level at this point. And she slowly gets up from the table and starts heading towards the stairs. And P leans over to the three of you and goes, "Oh, I fear Her Highness has finally gotten to the breaking point. I think she's sending that poor girl up to go wake up the coachman. Would one of you be a gentleman and go with her?"
I got this.
Are you okay?
All right. Do you try to catch up to her, or you just kind of follow after her?
Yeah, I'll take the steps two at a time, catch up.
All right. You catch up to her once she has reached the upstairs. When she notices your presence, because it's not exactly subtle.
No.
She makes a sound that you can only describe as a mouse squeak. But she looks at you and she looks profoundly uncomfortable. Before and she kind of just waits expectantly.
Just here to make sure that they're not in a grumpy mood when you wake them.
Oh. Thank you. And she gives a very slight tilt to the head and then walks to the coachman's room. And as the two of you are approaching, she sort of glances in your direction. She goes, would you mind being the one to and she just nods.
Yeah. Bang, 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 bang.
All right, you bang on the door, and after a few moments, you hear some groaning coming from inside. And you hear what? What do you want?
You got passengers that are waiting to make their departure.
There's another pause, and you hear that same voice go, Sigmar's balls, my. He goes, all right, we'll be out in just a minute.
Turn back to her and just give her a nod.
All right. She starts to head back downstairs.
I'll sit there and listen for a second, make sure they're actually, I can hear them actually getting out of bed.
Yes, you do hear profound swearing and people shuffling around.
Okay, then I will turn and make my way back downstairs as well.
All right, so you reach downstairs, and y'all are now getting to that point where you're nearing noon, but finally the coachmen come down and they stumble outside to where the coach is actually been pulled out by some of the servants that work here at the inn, and they very, very slowly start loading up the coach, piling the various bags and belongings on top of it. As you rejoin the others, Pete just looked kind of expectantly low, and she says, if I were you, I would probably talk to them sooner rather than... You know what? I'll just go with you, lads. I
agree.
And P hops off her stool.
I will approach them and say, oi, lads, could I just borrow a moment of your time? I know you're busy.
As you start talking... the nearest man, who is considerably the fatter of you, got a pretty profound double chin, slotted perfectly underneath his mustache and where his beard meets it. He holds up a hand and goes, shh, not so loud, not so loud.
Oh, I'm sorry. How much for me and 3 companions to travel to Aldor?
He kind of blearily looks at you and turns to look at his companion next to him, and he says, Gunnar, how much? And the younger man just sort of shrugs as he continues to pile things up. And Gunnar turns back to you. Sorry, Gunnar is the fatter man. Holtz is the younger man. So Gunnar turns back to you, and he goes, "It's gonna be."
Hey, how much was your cost? Since the dear coachman seemed to have forgotten.
She gets that kind of mischievous glint in her eye, and she says, "Oh, I paid through some various performances I put on for the gentlemen. I entertained their evening for my passage fare."
Ah.
He kind of looks at you and he goes, "It's gonna be four per head."
4 brass, 4 silver.
Silver. And that's if you're riding on the outside. If you want to
How
ride
much is it for the inside?
this is going to be 8. But we've only got, and he kind of looks back at it, he goes, "We only got enough room for 6, and I've already got," and he starts counting very slowly with his fingers. And he like settles on a number, and he turns over to Holtz and he goes, "How many we got?" And Holtz looks back and goes, "I think we got 4. And they both pause. Wait. And Gunnar goes, yes, we have 4. So we got 2 more seats inside, unless you want to try and cram in, but we can fit more on the top."
I'll turn to the companion and say, "Well, what do we think would be best? I have 20 silver. I don't know what the rest of you have. We have this mirror and comb that we've been hanging on to for a while. We could potentially use to barter, because I'm sure they could sell it for some money. And in a matter of seating, does anyone want to sit inside? I'm sure you'd have the company of your Royal Highnesses."
Dorthan will nod and take out the party
Did you all go outside, by the way? I assume.
I thought we did.
Yes.
I thought everyone was together.
Ben, are you out there with them?
Yeah.
Okay, just clarifying. Okay, cool. So you're all outside, speaking to the here. There we go. So okay, you're all participating in this conversation. Just cool.
Northandrel, how much do we have in the party cap?
Dorthan will take out a different pouch than the one he pulled out when P was asking for his money.
P watches this and she goes, "Oh, you clever little scamp."
Oh, this is the dwarf's money included. I could not spend it on personal things. They get very touchy about it.
She looks around you over at Thind.
But Dorthan will pull out a gold crown and say, "This will get all of us paid and one of us in the coach. I believe it will be rather cramped on top."
P chuckles. She goes, "You ever ridden on top of a coach before?" Mighty.
Dorthan will pause. How much does it sway?
She goes, "Well, it's not as much swaying, so more as very sudden jolts and bumps and moderate flying and exposed to the elements."
Why don't we do this then? Because I kind of have a feeling I know what Dorthandrel will prefer. I have enough to cover myself for the inside. Why don't me and Dorthandrel take the 2 seats that are available inside? Would you others 3 be okay with taking the top?
I'm just not sure the lady's going to appreciate your company from what I've seen.
So it would seem, and I get a kind of smirk on my face.
P will sort of not look over at Sigmund. She say, "Yes, you can ride on the top with me. It's quite invigorating." one could say.
And if needs be, we could always, I don't know, is it easy to swap out, like, mid-travel? Like, I could just get out and go to the top, and somebody else could go inside, like, to get warm? Or is it...
If it were to stop, and you had reasonable folks that would be willing to change out seats, potentially that would be possible. Now, whether or not the coachman will stop, anybody's guess.
Yeah, it is. Okay. Well, either way. Does that sound like a reasonable plan, or does anyone have any objections?
No, I'm good with that.
I find myself amenable to this plan.
However, I look at the two coachmen. Any discount for helping in case there's any attack?
Roll a haggle check. You're gonna roll it against Gunner's haggle check.
Okay. And if I do succeed, I do get an extra 10% off.
Oh yeah, what skill is that?
Dealmaker.
Oh.
I believe
Oh,
Dealmaker
nice.
is an automatic 10%, and then more.
Yeah,
In addition to what...
Yeah, I believe the talent. I don't even think you have to succeed.
I'm guessing just challenging because it's first.
Yes, it's challenging because it's. What is haggle? Fellowship?
Oh boy.
His eyes kind of like, he looks at the four of you, and looks back at the sorry state of himself and Holtz, and he turns and goes, all right, and he pinches the bridge of his nose. Okay, so you beat him by 3 success levels. Does Dealmaker also give you a bonus success level? To here, I'll so that was...
I don't see anything in the... It just says, you use haggle skill, you increase the price of products by an extra 10%. The GM may put a lower limit on prices here to show if seller refusing to sell below cost. That's all that it says in the book.
Yeah. So what you want to look for is if it has an associated talent here. I don't think it does, but let me double check. Ugh.
I don't see anything.
Female Dealmaker tests haggle.
Yes. Okay. So, and let me double check if we've noted that on your sheet, just because if we have, I'll show you where to look for it. Dealmaker. Oh, okay. So on Dealmaker under modifiers, put +1 SL to haggle for future reference, and we'll have to check the rest of your skills at some point. Which the good news about that is that will. Are you still sick, Sigmund? Or your cold's gone, right?
I'm still 6, so that actually would have been 13.
Okay. Well, no, it's still 3, but your target number would have been 25. Okay, no, that's still fine though. I mean, you still rolled extremely well. All right, so he kind of narrows his eyes at you and he says, "All right, we'll meet you at, let's say, 3 silver ahead." Well, okay, you have Dealmaker. Okay, so he tells you 2.5 silver ahead to ride on the outside, 5 silver ahead to ride in.
There's 2 silver, 6 brass right outside. Sounds like a deal to me.
Everybody cool with that?
Sounds good. So it was 5 brass for inside?
No, it's 5 silver for
Yeah.
inside.
5 silver, sorry. That's what I meant. All right, so I will deduct 5.
Okay, and Dorthandrel is going to deduct 5 from the party pouch.
Yep. And how much for those outside?
Outside
Right.
was 2.5 per head, and there's 2 of you riding outside. So that's
So
another 5.
10.
All right. So you hand over the money, and they nod, and Gunnar says, "All right, we'll be leaving in just a few minutes."
All right. I think we're ready to leave.
Let's pile in then.
All right.
Dorthan will watch them load and consider this loading compared to how he would load a ship.
It's not awful. You can tell they probably deal with different, like, they're keeping the weight reasonably distributed, but they are much less careful about that than you think your ships necessarily would be, and it's far more precarious because of how vertical it is. Here I have this image for you all. So this is what you're going to be writing.
Awesome.
So
Awesome.
those of you on top are up where all those little peasant people are, with all of the baggages and stuff. All right. So he looks excitedly to the lot of you, and she goes, "Ah, finally, we're heading off again. I'll go tell everyone inside that it's time to go. While y'all get situated, I know for." And she gestures to Thin to Sigmund. She goes, "Climbing up top can be a little bit of a struggle, so best start getting up there."
Start clambering up before people start showing up.
All right. You are able to. It's not difficult. So the 2 of you are able to work your way up and get on top of the coach. It's not comfortable up there at all, but you know what? At least it's better. It's better than walking. After just a minute, everyone comes outside. Ernst, trying not to run into things or step in any horse dung in the road, the path, while his nose is in his book, comes out with all of his various. You notice that he does have a. He seemed to have grabbed some sort of traveling chest from his room, which the 2 coachmen grumble very much about, having just thing as it was just apparently produced, and grab it and throw it onto the top. It narrowly avoids hitting you, Thin.
Dorthan will get in the
I'll
coach.
acknowledge it, but I'll settle myself more in and just find a safe nook.
All right. As you all approach, Lady Isolde approaches, and she gets into the coach. Marie opens the door for her and holds out a hand to help lift her into the coach. And she sits across from you, Dorthandrel, though she sits in the center. And then Jana sits on her left, and Marie sits on her right. Marie, who crosses her arms and watches you and Sigmund carefully. Ernst is on y'all's side. Which one of you wants the center seat?
I'll take it.
Okay, so Sigmund,
Astaroth.
Astaroth, you end up sitting across from Lady Isolde, and Dorthandrel sits on the window seat, and Lady Isolde, you can see her nose wrinkles a little bit in apparent disgust at you being the one that she's sitting across from.
Excellent.
And with that, the coachmen start packing, and also one of them goes, "Oh, and he runs away from the coach.
In a very similar way we've seen Dorthandrel do a couple times.
Oh, yes. So he vanishes, and the other coachman, names. Holtz ran off, but Gunnar just sort of chuckles and shakes his head before he climbs up into the coach seat, and just sort of he climbs up into the coach seat and he sits there for a minute, and after about 5 minutes, all of you can hear him not so softly snoring in the front seat as you wait.
Oh.
And you wait.
Looks like it's going to be a while.
Dorothandra will open the door.
Okay.
And he's gonna go find where Holtz is.
All right. It is not hard to find him at all because you follow your suspicions, which leads you to the outhouse, where you hear groaning and some very unpleasant noises coming from within.
Ah.
You suspect he'll be fine, but he'll also probably need a few minutes.
Alright, well, Holtz, you should probably hurry up. Her ladyship is waiting. Still.
There's a silence, and you hear a sawed off.
Dorothandra will walk away.
Okay.
While this is happening, I'm gonna look to Her Majesty and say, "Oh, I'm sorry for the wait. It appears my friend has gone off to find the other coachman. I know you guys probably have some important business that you need to attend to."
She gives you roll a difficult charm test. So -10.
Okay.
On top of any other penalties you may have, which I don't think you have any.
No, I am good to go.
Yeah. I will note you're not going to take. Oh no. Never mind. That's not going to matter. She gives you a very tight-lipped, thin smile and goes, "So it would seem."
So it would seem. Give her a little smirk back. I'll look out the door see if I can see Dorothandra coming back.
You do. All right.
Any luck, Dorothandra?
If we don't want the coach to smell of defecation.
Ah, wonderful. Okay, then.
Lady Isolde looks much more, how we say, settled when she sees Dorothandra re-enter. And she sort of looks over at him. She says, "Master Elf, might I ask you something?"
Of course.
Well,
I
first,
presume this will be a long journey.
well, hopefully not too long, but, might I have your name?
I am Dorothandra Dandyheart.
And she smiles a little. She gives like what seems to pass, like you think it's genuine, but this also seems like a woman who practices a lot of smiles for courtly intrigue. So what is and isn't genuine is probably not necessarily super easy to tell when it's not dealing with a super disgusting peasant. And she kind of looks you up and down for a moment. She goes, "Are you from the island home of your people?"
Unfortunately, I am. Though I spent a great deal of time in Marienburg.
She raises an eyebrow at your first comment, but does not follow up. And then she sort of nods, and she kind of continues to make polite inquiries that don't really delve for much in the way of information, before finally Noble Hertz returns and clambers up into the other seat. And with that, he elbows Gunnar, who wakes up and goes, "Ah, all right." And you hear the reins snap.
Well, looks like we're finally off.
Time for a music change. So, you head off towards the main gate, and now we return to this map. So, you make your way out the doors of the Coach and Horses Inn, or out the gate, I should say. But very quickly, it becomes apparent there is a small issue, which is that despite the fact you are traveling by coach, which is pulled by strong horses a nice set of them. The coach is moving quite slowly. You can't help but feel that you are 100% certain, all of you, that if you were to get out and walk, you would assuredly be moving swifter than you currently are.
Where is the party football? There it is.
Yes, oh wait, you should not actually be here. You should be more like right there.
Okay.
Ah, near the ancient dragon cave.
Yes, actually, not terribly far from it.
And I remember from a video, like right over here, there's the Nemesis crowd.
You are not wrong. Of course, it's
This
the
seems
last.
like a very safe forest.
And nothing bad happens in the Drakwald.
No. But I'll kind of look back and forth and look out the window. By the gods, what is going on? Why are we moving so slow?
Lady Isolde scowls and says, "An excellent question."
Can I open the window? Like, the window's openable? Would I have to open the whole door to, like, peek out?
I believe the windows are open. Or you can
so
open them.
I will open the window and lean out, and I'll shout to Fend and Sigmund. Oi, what's going on out there?
Do I see anything?
The coachmen look like they're almost falling asleep. And you notice that they're both holding their heads as if they are in great agony.
Looks like the drivers aren't having much of a good day.
Did you ask them what's wrong?
Oi! Everything okay there?
Gunnar goes, don't shout. What?
You've been awake for a while now. What's wrong with you? Just sick?
I'm hung over. What do you think?
You can push through that, can't you?
And with that, he snaps the reins, and y'all start moving substantially more swiftly. So you hear both men groaning as they start to jostle around significantly. However, it doesn't take long. Like, you make it maybe about 30 minutes, and y'all are aware, and you kind of hear this from she mentions to the two of you that, well, I must say, if they don't pick up the pace and maintain the pace, we're not going to make it to the next tavern by dark. Which, if we don't make it to the next tavern by dark, that means we're going to be out in the Drakwald at dark.
Oh, we can't have that, not at all.
And sure enough, about 30 minutes later, the coach starts slowing down.
Hey!
And you hear, what?
You have a job? We've paid you? We don't want to be out here before the sun sets.
I'm gonna lean my head out the window and say, "You're gonna get us all killed! If we don't make it to the tavern by nightfall, who knows what will come out of the Drakwald? Hurry!"
You hear and then they snap the reins again and start speeding up. You have a unfortunate feeling that this may become a thing.
I'll lean my head out the window again. Sigmund, Fend, I've had enough. Get them off the reins and take over.
They've still got a blunderbuss, Astaroth.
I don't think they mind too much if you take over.
Yeah, you're shouting that, right?
Yeah.
And at that, Holtz turns around and goes, "Oh, does one of you know how to drive, coach?"
I'll look at Sigmund.
I believe it is a
Shakes my
basic
head.
skill, so it's not horribly hard.
I mean, I have a decent agility, but no training in it.
You don't need training in it to do it. Now, how you answer that question is up to you. It would definitely be faster.
Could
I-
negotiate a lower price if we're the ones driving.
They both Gunnar kind of turns and looks back, and he mutters something to Holtz, and Holtz only kind of just shakes his head, but they don't respond to that particular inquiry. And they look at Sigmund, and they say, here, and Gunnar pulls on the reins, bringing the carriage to a stop, much to Lady Isolde's frustration. And he says, you can drive for a bit. It's not hard. We'll just rest a little bit. We'll feel better. And then we'll take over after we just camp for a little bit.
I'll shout and say, Sigmund, Then, do you guys got this, or do you need help?
I'm not much of a confident. I'm not great with animals.
Astaroth, you want to take a whack at it?
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
Up here.
I was really looking forward to getting to know the lady a little bit more, but I guess my services are needed elsewhere. Can you stop the carriage so I can hop out?
It's
I'll
already
swap with Then. It's already. I thought they just passed you the reins.
No, they just stopped past the reins.
Okay.
Okay.
Then will
Yes.
get out to make room for Astaroth and mention that perhaps he should inquire how much a coachman gets paid to drive a coach.
Oh, don't you worry, my friend. I would definitely will.
All right. Astaroth, you hop up into the driver's seat. Does anyone want to take Astaroth's seat inside?
I'll swap out with Then.
All
If he would like, since I'm taking his spot.
Then, do you want to come down and go inside?
Sure.
All right. Then has gotten off the top of the coach and is now inside.
I have
Sniffling
in my
and coughing slightly.
I have on my character sheet under basic skills. I have drive. I don't know if that's
Yes, it is a
applicable
basic
to this.
It will be.
Okay.
You're gonna do a drive check here in a second. All right.
Perfect.
You're off. So you crack the reins and you actually start setting off at a pretty reasonable, solid pace. And the two Gunnar and Holtz fall asleep almost instantly. It is kind of frightening to think that they were driving this, but they almost immediately curl up and are out.
I'll look to Sigmund with visible anxiety on my face and say,
Yeah.
"We need to go. We need to go now. It's getting very late, and I know you know what lurks out in these woods."
Take us away. Roll me an average drive check. Very nice. Although you've never really done this before, the horses are pretty pliable, and they don't really seem to care who's driving in particular, and they follow the road nice and smoothly, and you don't seem to run into any issues as you continue towards Altdorf. However, it's not too long, maybe only 20 minutes, before you start, those of you who are outside or atop the carriage start to feel the occasional drop of wetness. And the clouds are looking awfully dark.
It's going to rain.
And after a few
I
moments,
saw.
the skies open. Rain is pouring down. Those of you inside the coach are perfectly warm, dry, and comfortable. Oops. Was not on repeat.
Did Sigmund, when they went into the back, did you take the blunderbuss from them, or did they leave it?
No. Holtz is even while sleeping has a death man's clutch on that blunderbuss.
Yeah,
Sigmund, you're from Nuln, right? You know how to use a blunderbuss.
know how to use yes.
Wake him and tell him since we're driving, we need the blunderbuss.
You want me to wake a sleeping man that's holding a blunderbuss in his hand?
Oh, I'll do it. If you could just watch the road for just a second, if you
Yeah.
don't feel comfortable.
Wait, so, one of you is riding atop the thing, right? Both of you cannot fit in the driver's seat.
Oh, I thought it was like a 2-man. I'm sorry. I thought so. Like, you ever seen those carriages with like it's got a bench
like
and
old Wells
2 people
Fargo.
can sit on it? I thought that's what that the 2 of them were sitting on. So it was like the 2 of them, and then Sigmund took over, then took over. But then I thought me and
the 2 of them are still on the bench, but the driver is sitting between them. But there's no more room for anyone else.
Okay, so I'm driving and they're sitting next to me.
Yes, yeah. And Sigmund is on top. So you can easily talk to one another, but Sigmund cannot. Sigmund, if you want, you can try and maneuver down there, but like you're gonna.
No. I was not visualizing this in my imagination.
Yeah,
so now
you're in easy talking range of each other, but yeah, no. If you want to physically help him, it's gonna take a bit of an effort.
So I'm going to wake him myself then.
Okay. You reach forward, and it's been a bit. So like, I realized that it sounded very, very quick, but the initial drive for Astaroth's been driving for like a good 2+, probably more like 3 hours, without incident, or it really started to open up and rain. And between the rain, and you kind of jostling and shouting, Holtz does wake up kind of abruptly and looks around, and he notices the rain and looks a little miserable, but settles into his seat. And he turns back and listens, and he goes, "Yeah, what?"
We're driving for you. We're protecting the coach. You have the blunderbuss. One of my companions is from Nunn and knows how to use it. Give it to him.
He raises an eyebrow and he says, "I know how to use it, and I'm awake, so that'll suffice."
You are still hungover.
Now,
The decision is ultimately up to you, but if you would like to continue to rest, it would be better off in our hands. But if you're going to...
he gestures to the rain. He goes, "I'm fine."
All right.
And he actually reaches over and kind of hits Gunnar a few times, who wakes up with a loud snort. Also looks miserable at the rain and sighs, but doesn't say anything otherwise. And he does... yes, Dorthandra. Yeah, you can go ahead and remove your fetid stink debuff.
Right.
Gunnar holds his hand out for the reins.
I can continue to drive if you would like.
He shrugs and goes, "I'm not going to be able to sleep in this. Don't worry about it."
All right, then.
I'll
hand the reins back.
He doesn't offer to let you off of your seat. He just simply snaps the reins and keeps y'all going at an aggressive pace.
Yeah, no, at this point, I'm not concerned with stopping to switch. I'm fine where I'm at. I'm more concerned about the safety of everyone.
All right. For anyone who is outside, stuck in the rain, hours pass. After about 2 hours, the rain is still coming down, but it's slowly lightening up a bit. For anyone who is exposed to the rain, are either of you already sick?
Yes.
I just got better.
Okay, you who just got better, take an endurance check that is easy. You who is sick, you will need to roll for me. Ooh, good thing for you. So you do not get sick again. Huzzah. Mr. Upstairs. Roll me. Let's see, how do I do this? Yes, roll me a challenging endurance test.
Challenging with my -10 still.
Yes. You do not want to fail this. Do you want to re-roll or do you want to keep it?
I'll re-roll it.
Okay, it's not the end of the world if you fail, I'll say. It just means your sickness is going to last for longer. Brutal. All right. So roll me. So you already are sick. How long have you been sick? Do you remember?
I don't. I only know how much I've got left.
How much you got left?
I got 28 hours left. Well, at this point, it'd be like 16 hours.
Okay.
Because we've been traveling for half a day.
Okay. So I'm gonna say that you've been sick for 3 days. I think it's. Does that sound right?
Yeah, something like that. Let me see if I have it in my notes somewhere. Or written.
Okay, roll me a d10, but just don't roll a 10.
Okay. 2.
Okay, you're sick for 2 more days. That's it.
Oh, okay.
So just add another 48 hours. Your sickness is extended. All right, but lucky for you, that's not long enough to turn into something more severe. All right, eventually the rain lightens up, and you continue to rumble onwards. And as the rain lightens up, the chill winter air flying by you slowly but surely dries you out, leading to the increased exposure. However, you continue on, and you're making actually reasonable time. You do reach a junction point. Those of you who are able to read see that there is a signpost on it that reads Altdorf 120 miles. I'm sorry, earlier I meant to say that not Altdorf was 50 miles away, but the next inn was 50 miles away. You are very close to the next inn. So this says Altdorf 120 miles away, and you notice that the coach does not seem to be slowing down at all, with the only exit to the upcoming inn rapidly approaching. Does anyone care, or are y'all? So you can tell very quickly by putting 2 and 2 together that the coach is probably not going to stop at the upcoming inn. If any of you want it to stop, you better speak now or forever hold your peace.
I'll say, oi, what are you doing?
Gunnar looks over at you and he says, my job. If we're gonna make Altdorf, we gotta keep hustling. We gotta keep going.
You do not keep going at night through the Drakwald.
I should reiterate, you will probably, we double check this. Yeah, okay. So he looks over at you and shakes his head and says, we've got time. It won't be terribly dark by the time we're close.
Can I tell if that's true? Like, based on the time of day and everything else?
If he knows what he's doing, which he hopefully does, seeing as he does this for a living, that should be correct.
I don't feel comfortable. I don't. But so be it.
All right. So you lot stay on, and you blow past an inn called the Five Brothers Lodge. So you blow past it, and as you continue riding, it starts to get a bit darker. It's not night by any means. It's like lightly dusk, if anything. And as you're going along, making pretty great time on the road to Altdorf, you are following the main road, and you come around a bend. And as you come around the bend, those of you on the top of the coach, so Sigmund and Astaroth being the ones that are outside and able to see the road, you see that the road suddenly pulls up into quite a sight, which is that you see a human squatting in the road, who is has his back to you, and in front of him is a in front of him is a corpse, and the man stands up, and it's lightly drizzling at this point. The man stands up and suddenly whips around at the sound of the coach approaching, and you all see this. So you see a man that is recognizably human turn to face you, but flesh is hanging from his body in tatters. It's hanging off of his face, it's hanging off of his arms, and he's wearing tattered clothes, and he has a human, a disembodied human arm in his mouth that he spits out, and he starts charging towards the coach with a dagger. And as he does this very suddenly, one of you actually gets a very good look at him, which is, where the hell is my note on this? Hold on one moment. Un momento. I have it here. Sigmund, as you see this nightmarish individual appear before you, you realize that you recognize this man. Despite the flesh literally rotting off his face, it is genuinely almost impossible for you to believe it, but this man is Stefan Millerson, a man who served on the Nuln Watch with you.
Now, the way he's moving, I know typically zombies in the Warhammer universe are more of like shambling, not slow. But
he's not shambling. He's hustling.
So it's not like a zombie. Like it's more of something else.
Nope, he's definitely still alive. Which, speaking of which, something's about to happen, which is that oops. As he runs towards the coach, and you are suddenly faced with this horrible realization that you know this man, as unexpected as it is to run into him here of all places, he terrifies the hell out of the horses. And the horses suddenly panic and scream, and they lurch. And with a sickening crack, the traces completely snap, and Gunnar, who is holding onto the reins, screams as he is pulled out of the seat and is dragged off into the forest with behind the horses. Meanwhile, Holt reaches over and pulls on the brakes as hard as he can, and the coach just slams hard and screeches through the mud, bouncing and tumbling before it lurches to a stop. And he looks up just in time to see Stefan rapidly approaching.
What's it? Inside the coach, I see this.
You see it, you hear it, and you feel it. You are all thrown around the inside of the coach. Those of you on top hold on for dear life. And Stefan is rapidly approaching, and you just hear a guttural sound from him as he gets closer and closer. I need all of you roll initiative, which is a reminder of how to do this, because it's been a hot minute. You will select your character token, then go onto your character sheet, and then you will go to the combat tab and select initiative. Damn, nice.
I don't know if it was for me or for Stefan, but it says you wanted to send the result of this roll to the turn tracker, but no valid token was
You
selected.
didn't have your token selected.
So yes, that was for you, Astaroth. So make sure you left-click your token and it's highlighted before you roll.
Oh, okay, I can't see any, like, so I see the sides of the road, but everything is black on the road, so I can't see tokens or anything.
Scroll
The
down.
token tracker might be covering where your token is.
Yeah.
Okay, yep. Okay, I see it now. Do you want me to re-roll? You want me just to keep what that is?
I'll just add. What'd you roll? You rolled a 49.
A 49.
And we will stick with this initiative system for now. We may change it in the future. But if I recall correctly, I believe we decided on this and thought this was fine for us. All right.
Yeah.
Northandrel, you are up. You are faced with a horrifying man who is growling and making inhuman noises that is absolutely hideous, with flesh literally peeling off of his face in tatters, and green, covered in gore, and green slime or ichor or something pouring out of his eyes. I need you to roll me a fear check, or a cool check.
And this is challenging?
Yes. Fear checks will always be challenging unless there's a very unusual circumstance. All right, so you do pass. However, he doesn't have a fear rating of 1. He has a fear rating of 3. So what that means is that you have passed, but only just. So because of that, you basically have the equivalent of a +1, but you need to pass with a total of +3 cumulatively over numerous checks. So at this point, you may, if you want, you can just do your turn as normal. However, because you are still afraid, you may not move closer to him, and any tests you do against him will be at a -1 success level. Well, I'm sorry, you can move closer to him, but you have to pass a cool test to do so. And if he approaches closer to you during his turn, you must take another challenging cool test, and if you fail, you gain a broken condition. No bueno. However, this will be a good moment to demonstrate that y'all do have a system called Resolve and Resilience. Resolve, I believe, is the smaller one, and Resolve you can use to make yourself immune to a condition for a turn. So for instance, you could spend a Resolve point right now to make yourself immune to fear. So until the start of your next turn, you would functionally ignore it, or you can just deal with it.
Does the Resolve have to be used on my turn?
I don't believe so, but let me double check. I think you can use it at any relevant point. Let me double check real quick.
I don't remember it being listed anywhere, like when you can use it, so I want to make sure.
I don't.
Like,
I
if
don't
he
have.
comes at me, I can still use Resolve to get rid of the cool.
Yeah,
or the fear.
I am almost assuredly fine with that. I'm just gonna double check to make sure it doesn't explicitly state it. Let's see, fortune and resilience. Oh right, they put it. I believe they put it. Disease. Once again, I apologize. I'm a little rusty. Corruption. Exposure. Broken bones. Resilience. Here we are. Sorry, you're spending a resolve. You may spend a resolve point to draw your inner reserves. Whenever you do it, you become immune to psychology until the end of next round. Ignore all modifiers from a critical wound or remove a condition. So you can use it at any point, and it lasts until the end of the round. But you can activate it at any point during the round.
Okay. I will stand gallantly at the doorway and shout out, this is obviously some chaos thing in my eyes, correct?
Oh yeah. You would be willing to bet a significant amount of money that this is a really messed up mutant.
Dorthander will shout out, "There's a mutant! Show me the fervor of Sigmar in defeating chaos." And I'm going to make a leadership test to try to rally everyone because I don't want to go forward.
Okay. You may pick one of your party members specifically.
Which of you has the lowest cool? Which of you has Dorthander thought, this one looks like he might break? Then should be fine.
Sigmund's not looking great in this, especially because he's still sick.
Yeah. I will shout to Sigmund.
Okay. So roll a leadership check. It'll be challenging with no penalties because it's not targeting the creature.
No, I am not a leader.
All right. Unfortunately for you, Sigmund is far too focused on the fact that someone that he used to have drinks with and work with and has genuine good memories with has apparently been turned into a horrible flesh-eating monster.
I will pull out my dagger.
Okay. I will note that Stefan has eyes for Gunnar. He is going for him, and Gunnar seems petrified. It is now Astaroth's turn. I don't know. We're showing us Emog Askooks, but whatever. I'll fix it later.
I don't know either. How far away is? There's no token for Gunnar. But am I in a position where I could put myself in between the two of them?
Yes, very easily.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to.
But first thing you're gonna do is take a cool check. There, I fixed your name.
Thank you. It was challenging.
Yes, it will always be challenging. All right, so you do pass with a marginal success. So you are still affected by fear because he has a fear rating of 3, but only just. So if you want to move towards him, which you would need to do in order to block him from Gunnar, then you will need to pass another cool.
Okay.
But you can spend a resilience point to just make yourself immune to psychology, and then you don't have to worry about it until next turn.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay.
I will do that.
So reduce your resolve by 1, your resolve pool by 1, and then now you may take your turn. So you can take a move action. You can attempt to charge him. I think he might be too close for you to charge. Yeah, he's too close for you to charge. But every turn you have a move action and a regular action. You could move and attack, or move and enter like a defensive stance, or move and really your imagination is the limit. Please, by all means, the combat system in this game is very heavily enhanced by really trying to use your abilities. Like, you could be like, okay, well, I may not be able to get to my opponent this turn, so I want to study the terrain he's on to see if I could figure out maybe an advantage there. Or I'm just going to run up and stab him, or I'm going to try and tackle him to the ground, or whatever. But there's nothing wrong with just running up and smacking someone, but feel free to be more colorful with it.
Yeah. No, so I'm going to run up and slide and put myself in between Gunnar and the mutant, and I'm going to attempt, I know he's pretty close, but I have a short bow, which is relatively short range. I'm going to attempt to loose a bow, and hopefully where he's so close, hopefully with the dice willing, he doesn't have time to dodge it.
All right, so you are already so freaking close to him that if you shot him where you're... and you don't have to take your move action before your action. You can take him in any order. So if you want to shoot him, I'd recommend doing it where you're already standing, because you're going to be shooting him at point blank range.
Okay.
So you may fire a point blank shot. However, because it is point blank, he will have the ability to try and dodge it. So he'll get to like roll against it. However, you're going to get a pretty sizable bonus for shooting him like so close. So since you're at point blank range, you're going to go onto the combat tab, go down to your short bow, click on it, and when it asks for the difficulty, you're going to do easy.
Hey.
All right, and then he will attempt to dodge as this arrow comes flying for his face. Well, he does actually have a pretty good dodge. Ooh, okay, so you tied in success levels, but since his dodge is a higher base percentage than your bow, he barely manages to dodge it. Though, if you want, you could spend a fortune point to make to win. So if you spend a fortune point, you'll hit him.
I'll absolutely do that.
Okay, so reduce your fortune point pool by 1, and that will make it where you have a +3 instead of a +2. So you will successfully hit him. So the arrow strikes him in the head. So you fire off your short bow, and the missile shoots through the air, and he almost dodges aside in time, but the arrow manages to just tear a gouge through his face. And you do... So the difference in success levels, which is going to be a 1, plus the damage, which is 5. So he's going to take 6 damage to his head. 6 damage minus his toughness. Okay. So 6... okay. And he's got a pretty nasty, bloody gouge in his face now. Then...
That was
what
with
about
me.
Impale from the arrow on a 50?
Oh, do short bows have impale?
No, the bolt, the arrow gives the attack impale.
Oh,
So the short bow doesn't list it, but ammunition gives its properties to the attack.
Oh, okay.
That is correct.
So that someone who doesn't know how to use a short bow could pick it up, and the arrow would still impale, even though they lose the short bow qualities for not having the skill.
Okay, here, let's see. Oh, yeah, arrows do have impale. Oh, look at that. I did not realize that. I thought they were just basic, bitch. Well, it goes to show what a goof I am. The short bow doesn't have any special rule. Let's see. Astaroth. Let me just double check your sheet real quick.
No, it doesn't. Not that I see.
Okay. 2 short bows. We'll fix that later. All right. So, yes, it does have the impale quality, which means that it shall... Goodness gracious. Okay. Weapon quality... Here we are. Impale. So since you got a 10, you got a critical hit. Well, damn. Yeah, so you're going to crit him in the head with an arrow. So yeah. Let me go to the crit table. Look at you opening up with a critical hit.
Only Tal's with me today.
Yeah, let me go to the new table in Up in Arms. I can find it. Am I crazy? It's in Up in Arms, isn't it? Yeah, here it is.
Up in Arms has a new crit table, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So new crit table. Let's see, because they changed how you do this now. Okay. So crit inflicting is yep. So you do not reverse. Instead, do not reverse your attack roll. Instead, roll D100 again to work out where your hit landed. Then roll again to find the entry. Okay. So... What? Really? If during an attack, a character rolls a double, or in your case, a thing, they've inflicted critical damage, even if their opponent has wounds remaining. Do not reverse your attack roll to find out the location of your strike, as you would for a normal hit. Instead, roll a D100 again to work out where your hit landed. Then roll... Okay, I'm assuming what they're saying there is not necessary.
I can clarify if you want.
Yeah, clarify.
So the way the dice numbers work, with doubles being the normal critical things, it turns out you can't crit someone in the head.
Okay.
So the first D100 roll is to randomize where the critical hit hits, because otherwise you will only have a very small chance of hitting certain body parts.
Ah, I see. Okay. So, okay, so roll. So basically, we haven't determined where you hit him yet. So roll me a D100.
Is that off the short bow, or is that just a regular D100?
No, just a regular D100. A 21. So you're going to hit him in the... one of you open your combat tab and tell me what a 21 is.
A left arm.
Left arm. Okay, roll another D100. Okay, a 61. And there's no bonus to it because... Wow, a clean break. So you fire off your arrow and it slams into his left arm, breaking the bone. You just flat out break his bone. So he, Stefan screams in agony as the arrow just cracks through his bone, piercing through it, and his left arm goes completely limp. Nice shot.
Thank you.
He must pass a difficult endurance test or gain a stunned condition. Okay, so let me take his endurance test real quick. So for him, that's just going to be flat toughness because he doesn't have endurance. All right, he is stunned by the pain and agony. So Stefan crumples to the ground and is momentarily stunned. Then it is your turn. Roll for me a challenging cool test because of the horrifying monstrosity in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
Before my turn ends, I'm going to shout, Sigmund, then, quickly! Get around and beat his ass!
All right, Thend, you passed with +2, so you're fine.
Nice. I will go to the opposite side of him. How many squares can I move?
Am I
3?
doing that right, Ben? For fear rating 3, it's pass and then +2, because a pass is just, or do you have to pass with a +3?
It's up to you how it works, because normally if you rule it that you need the number of success levels, then passing doesn't matter. You need 1 success level for any fear, because fear 1. So some GMs say like passing the test gives you 1 SL, so you're guaranteed on a success to pass fear 1. So if you use that, then fear 2 SL would add another 1 for 3.
Okay,
or you can go the other way and say you need
no, that makes
3 SL altogether.
Yeah, no, that makes the most sense to me. Okay, so yeah, you're fine.
I go to the opposite side of him, and I will take up my dagger and give him a stabby.
Okay, because yeah, I think there's no such thing as, to my understanding, there's no such thing as fear 0. It's either fear 1 or no fear. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, in that case, that's how I would rule it. All right, so since he is stunned and you have him surrounded, okay, no, that's probably not a crit fail. Actually, that's probably a crit pass because you're gonna get an insane bonus to hit him.
Okay.
Because since he's already stunned due to the arrow causing him a crippling amount of agony, that means that he has, let's see, stunned. He has a -10 penalty to all tests, and he gains, oh, so you would have gained an advantage before even attacking him. So that means you would have had a +10, so your target would have been a 46. And then, because y'all have him surrounded, you have him outnumbered 2-1. You would also gain a +20, which would put you needing a 66. But that's it. So never mind. Yeah, so that's a crit fail. If you want, you could spend a fortune point to re-roll it.
I will re-roll.
Okay. So, but make sure this time, so on your combat tab, because you're attacking a stunned target, you get a point of advantage. So if you look at on combat, you'll see advantage in the top right, and you're gonna hit the plus, so it goes up by 1 before you roll.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it asks for the difficulty modifier on the roll, you're going to say that it's an average roll. Because you have him outnumbered 2-1.
Oh.
Okay, so that's a miss, but he has to roll to try and dodge it, which he is having a really bad time. So he's probably, if he feels worse than you failed, then you still hit him.
Okay.
So he is going to dodge, but since he is stunned, he has a -10 penalty on his dodge check. Okay, so he barely beats you. So he does manage to avoid your dagger stabbing him. And he will gain a point of advantage, and you lose your advantage since you failed a versus check. So you hit the little arrow that's like in a circle. Also, Astaroth, make sure you gave yourself +1 advantage for hitting him earlier.
Okay.
All right, it is now Stefan's turn. He is stunned. So he cannot actually do anything but move. Which he's not going to. He's just going to kind of like groan on the ground. And then at the end of the round... Okay, so he's basically not going to do anything. He's just like willowing on the ground because he's not allowed to take any actions. Except for moving, which he's not going to. Sigmund, you're up. Take a challenging cool check.
Yep.
You are afraid. If you
All
want,
right,
if you have a shooting attack, you can do that from here, or you could take another cool test to try and approach him, or you could use a resolve point.
Can I grab Holtz's blunderbuss from him? Since he...
Yes, you may. However,
Okay.
I will note that a blunderbuss is a area of effect shot, so I would think very carefully before proceeding.
Pepper everybody. No, so I don't have a range attack. I am, however, going to make sure that it is just Stefan here.
Well,
And that
he's on the ground, right? So if you grabbed the blunderbuss and ran over it,
I can't run closer.
You can.
yeah, you
well,
could-
you might be able to, but you have to take a cool
Yeah.
check to check if you can.
Yeah. I'm going to make sure that Tomas Vint and Luca Bernard aren't also chaos mutants crawling around these woods.
You do not see anyone else with him other than that corpse on the road.
All right. Then
But
I
if you
will...
want, you may roll a perception check to kind of like study the terrain and stuff to see if there's anyone there.
Yeah, I will do that. Because passing that cool check is not likely. Perception, challenging. No. 2 failures.
Okay. Is there so you can, well, you can't really move because you're kind of on the edge of the map. So all right, you are far too focused on the horrifying visage of an old friend and seeing him get frankly torn apart by Astaroth.
Yeah.
Northandrel, you're up. Oh, also I'm going to roll his endurance check again to see if he gets rid of his stun condition. Yeah, that was such a good shot. That totally destroyed him. Oh, wow. Okay, so he does actually remove his stun condition. But now he has a fatigue condition instead. And he loses his...
Does he lose advantage for gaining a condition?
No, because... well, he's going to lose it anyway because his turn passed without him doing any damage or without earning any advantage.
Okay. I am still scared.
Cool. Anything else?
I will study the terrain around, looking for other ambushes and how to position myself better.
All right, challenging perception.
I want to use intuition.
That is also fine.
I'm not looking for things, I'm intuiting how I can manage this.
That is acceptable. Carry on. All right.
hey, good roll.
You feel that you have a pretty good idea of where the best positions will be on the battlefield should any more trouble arise. Gain one point of advantage.
Right.
Astaroth, you're up.
For the first time since I've acquired it, I'm going to unsheath my Knight's Panther sword in attempts to clean behead this mutant.
All right. You pull the sword from its scabbard, and once again, you can't help but be taken by the strange, almost insubstantialness of it, as if it's not entirely really there. Make an attack roll. Do keep in mind that you gain a +20 because Thind is helping you outnumber him.
Do I need to do a cool test again?
Yes, you do need to make a cool test again.
Okay.
I forgot you used a resolve point last turn. All right, you are afraid. However, all that means is that when you swing at him, you will have -1 instead of you'll have a -1 to hit instead of a Oh, that's it.
Okay. And that's a D100 to hit for attack?
No. So you're
gonna go to sword.
You're gonna roll your sword. Do you have it on your sheet? Like
I have my hand weapon, my original sword. I don't think we ever added because it was a mysterious sword with no attributes.
Go ahead and roll your hand weapon. And what it's gonna ask for, you gave yourself advantage last turn, right?
Yes.
Okay, and for the record, anytime I ask y'all to make a combat roll it from your combat tab, preferably, because otherwise it won't include your advantage. So like when you rolled your cool test, did you roll it from your combat tab or did you roll it from your regular tab?
I just rolled it from the main tab.
Okay, so it didn't apply your advantage. So you actually passed that with a with a +0.
I did not know that about the cool. I knew that about weapons and stuff, but I see it now under controls.
Yeah, everything on the combat tab is affected by advantage.
Okay.
All right, so roll your main weapon, and it's going to ask you the difficulty of it, and you're going to do average, and then it's going to ask for any modifiers, and you're going to type in -10, which is for fear.
Does target bonus and SL, would it go under target bonus or SL?
Target bonus.
So -10.
Yes.
And
Actually,
+20.
wait. I lied. It would be... So, okay, did it ask for the difficulty?
Yeah, so it was average.
Right, and then you're going to leave it blank for target bonus, and then on SL, you're going to type -1.
1, okay.
Whoa, another crit! Are you kidding me? All right, roll another 100. The back-to-back crit. Dear God, dude. All right, so yeah, you got him in the head. Or is that head? 17?
No, it's still left arm.
Oh, dude, this poor guy's arm. All right, roll a D100 again, but this time you're knocking him down to 0. Oh, I guess I should roll him a token dodge on the chance that he rolls a 1. Yeah, no. Yeah, no. All right, so, oh my dear God. Add +10 for every wound you inflict beyond that needed to do so. Holy shit. Okay, so you did... Oh my good God. You did 3 plus 4 is 7, plus another 7 is 14 damage to his left arm. So that's going to take him to -12. So you add +10 for every wound past 0. Normally we're not going to do this, but this is you got the double crit. So yeah. No. Yeah, no. You got all right, describe how it happens, but I will let you know the result title is brutal dismemberment.
So I was aiming for his head, and I don't know if I could still, just with the double crit, manage to behead him, but I'm going to swing my sword from my my right to my left and like come across his head and down to like get his arm, not intentionally, but like so I was aiming for his head, but
It's fine.
my swipe
You can
goes
chop
down
off his
to
head.
his arm.
It's fine.
Perfect. So yeah, I swing with all my might, screaming, "War Sigmar!" and get his head and come down and get his shoulder of his left arm.
All right. So, crying out to your god, you bring down the wrath of Sigmar upon this heretical mutant, and your blade slices through him as if he were made of air. And he doesn't even let out so much as a sound. He just sort of freezes, and then his arm and his head collapse off to one side of his body, while the other half remaining of his body falls to the other side. And Stefan is no more.
By Tal Sigma, I don't know how we got through that, but the gods are with us today, lads, it seems.
More important, did I see where the horses went?
Into the woods. This way.
Everyone scan the immediate area, make sure there's no other foul than dead lurking about before we gather our bearings. We need to make sure that we are, for the moment, safe.
You do see a lovely corpse over here that Stefan was also fondly nomming on.
I'll go check the body.
All right.
Is it alive?
Thind, as you move... No, he is super dead. However... you notice among the bite marks in his torn off arm, it seems that what actually killed him was a crossbow bolt to the neck. And you realize that this was likely a coach driver based on his armaments, and there are coach tracks leading around this corner.
I let the party know.
Right.
While also checking what's on his body.
Perhaps
he is wearing a sleeved male shirt. It's a little too big. It's not the right design for you being a dwarf, but just from your giving kind of an appreciating look over, you feel pretty confident it would fit one of your human companions.
Well, before I, finagle around with that, I'll do a quick look around to make sure there's no more enemies.
Okay, are you gonna go look around the corner?
Sure.
All right, we're gonna do this in order, but it is your turn now, so go on, make a move action.
All right. I'll take a look up and down the road into the forest.
Okay, so as you turn the corner and you look down the road, you see this. You see an overturned carriage surrounded by corpses and blood and gore, and among the ruin are a series of individuals who as of yet have not noticed you. You see, you hear crashing as you see them tearing through various items from the overturned coach, and the closest creature to you stands up and lets out a roar.
Looking at me, or?
No, not looking at you. And all of a sudden, from right here, this part of the woods over here, you hear something, and you have just enough time to glimpse something running towards you.
Can I tell what it is?
Roll me an initiative. Challenging initiative test. And anyone can roll this if you would like. However, if you roll it, that means you have to take a reaction to it. No, sorry, not that kind of initiative. Like your base.
No, sorry.
Your main initiative stat.
Thought we were still in combat.
You are not currently in combat. But as you can see, that's going to change. Well, no, technically you are still in combat, actually.
Let's see, where is the base initiative?
So you're going to go to your main, and you're going to go to the eye up on your stats, and you're going to click the eye.
It was challenging.
Yes.
Ugh.
All right. Astaroth and Thind, you don't know what's coming at you through the woods, but it's moving very, very fast, and it's about to run straight into Thind. What are you gonna do?
All right.
Then attempt come back.
I'll
Get out of the
I'll
way.
Start backing up. Can I dodge?
You could dodge or swing, try and attack it before it gets on you.
I will take a dodge.
All right, Astaroth, what are you gonna do? You just shouting?
Is it my turn? Could I move or?
You're essentially kind of between combats right now, so you can take a special action at this moment.
So I'm going to move up in an attempt to get ready to loose another bow.
Okay.
So that way I'm in range or whatever it is.
Cool. Your range is so far, you don't need to worry about that on this map.
Well, since it's only 20 for a short bow.
20 yards.
20 yards,
and
okay.
every square is 2 yards.
Oh, damn, okay.
So you can reach 10 squares. So, all right. So out of the woods comes running. I have to find it. Holtz. Not Holtz, that's Gunner. There we go. And he screams, don't kill me, don't! And he's covered in blood, but otherwise seems relatively okay.
Quickly, back to the carriage.
He does not need encouragement to do that, and he goes running back towards it. You see the others are kind of all getting out of the carriage but staying close to it, and Marie is standing guard with her weapons drawn outside of it.
Ben, do you see anything up the road?
Yeah, there's about 5 more down the road. Looks like they're tearing into a carriage over there.
5 more mutants. By tall.
I say we
get the
clear
woman. Yeah, get the woman back to the carriage. Or inside the carriage.
Does this show y'all a picture?
No.
I don't see anything. Oh, there we go. Yeah.
So you see those lovely mugs.
Good to know. Good to know.
You see a group of mutants who, when y'all actually turn the corner to properly engage them, I will describe their genuine appearance to you. They have not noticed you yet.
Would it be... I'm going to regroup my companions and say, Then says there's 5 more mutants up the road. We don't have any horses, so we could attempt to find them. I don't know how far they've gone. We could attempt to find them and turn the carriage around, or we could engage. What do you think would be best?
Actually, wait, Thind, I do need to describe this, a scene. You do see the following, Thind, because you do hear screaming coming from the direction of the mutants, and when you turn the corner, you saw a ghastly scene. You see an overturned coach lies across the road with bodies littering the ground around it. 2 of its horses are desperately trying to struggle free of their harnesses as a creature with a large body and an incredibly small head hacks maniacally at them with an axe. A human with a dog-like head is lying screaming next to the coach. Blood pumps from his wounded leg, while another mutant with a pointed head tries to bandage it. A 4th mutant with cloven feet is feasting on one of the bodies. Searching through the various corpses is a human with scaly skin holding a loaded crossbow. But yes, you do hear the horses screaming from where y'all are at.
Okay. Well, it looks like there's still some horses there. I say we go clean them up before they get taken out.
Oh, the horses, I think, are already dead. If they're being hacked as we speak. But is that what we think would be best? Are we going to go fight these mutants? They outnumber us by 1.
We don't have horses. And the coach is stuck.
Alright, so be it. Are you lads ready?
Ready.
Does Sigmund still have the blunderbuss? Or did Holtz, snatch it?
No, Holtz, or, not Holtz, the other one.
Gunner.
Gunner has it.
Okay. At this point, I'll turn around and say, Gunner, Now is the time to give us the blunderbuss.
In response to that, he gestures to the rain around you and looks at the blunderbuss and says, "Powder's weight."
Ah, damn, the powder's wet.
I'm ready to turn the corner.
All right. We're gonna go. Y'all can go ahead and get in position as long as you do not. So you can kind of make like a party order. So long as you do not cross that line.
Northendrel's gonna suggest perhaps sneaking through the woods with the noise. They might not see us before we get too close.
If you're comfortable going into the woods, feel free to. I can take their attention, and you can come from this side.
Northendrel's going to look at the 2 feet into the trees and shrubbery, and back at Thend like he will get lost next to the road. Yeah, and Northendrel's planning to sneak up the side.
Okay. All right. Anyone else? Astaroth, is that where you want to start this next round? Pearls, you there?
Sorry, I took off my headset because my wife just brought up my kid to say hello. He just woke up from a nap.
Oh, no, you're okay. You're all good, dude.
I was away for a second. What was going on?
Do you want to start the next round of combat from that position, or do you want to move up closer? So,
from that position, could I loose a bow? Absolutely. I don't know how to bring up the meter.
Yes. So
do I
use the meter? If you look in the top left, one of the symbols looks like a ruler, and you click on one of the options, so like snap to center, and then you click on your guy and drag it to where you're going.
Okay. So I can't.
Well, so that's its regular range. You can shoot longer than that, and remember, you can always move and then shoot.
Yeah. I can see all of them pretty clearly from where I'm at, right?
Oh, yeah.
Would you say that one of them is a beastman?
There is one that is dog-headed.
Dog-headed, but it is not...
He's not a genuine beastman. So, you could argue semantics if you really wanted to.
No, just because...
He's not a gore and ungore. I'll put it that way.
Okay, because I have psychology traits for beastmen. Hatred and trauma, but...
It will not apply in this circumstance.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
Yes, he is an ogre or he is a mutant to your eyes.
Okay. But I will take one more step forward, and I will attempt to loose a bow at the dog head.
When it's your turn, yes. All right. So we will start with. There it is. Northendrel, you are up first. Y'all have surprise on the mutant. And for surprise, for any of you that don't know what that is, because trust me, it's going to happen to y'all eventually. You will be on the receiving end of that one day. But what surprise is that basically we skip your turn. And any opponent trying to hit them in melee gets a +20 bonus. However, if anyone attempts to attack them, they will... whoever is attacked loses the surprise trait, whether or not they were hit. And that includes by shooting attacks. So they are all currently surprised, and I'm going to go ahead and start rolling all of their initiatives while Northendrel decides what he wants to do with his turn.
Northendrel's double-checking how charging works.
Sure. You also do not need fear for these, just to be clear.
Okay. Northendrel's going to sneak up a bit in the woods.
I hate to interrupt, but we've been at it for 4 hours. Do we think this would be a good point to wrap up and continue this later, or
Yeah, if you want
Do you
to,
guys want to keep going?
This would be a very good place to pause if y'all want to call it a day.
I don't want to call it a day, but my missus probably thinks otherwise. She has to go to work. So that's my only concern, because I don't want to get wrapped up in another hour or so of combat, because she has to get ready for work.
Yeah, I will
soon.
note. I will note this is a perfectly fine place to stop. It's also fine to stop right after this fight. This fight is fairly short. These guys are pretty heavily wounded from their engagement with the what's it called? The coach. But
Okay,
it is up to y'all.
I could go for maybe like I could do like another half an hour, 40 minutes, if that's okay with you guys.
That's fine with me.
Sorry to interrupt. Just
No,
the
you're
fact
all
that she came up and the kid's awake, just trying to make sure everything's kosher.
Do not ever need to apologize for something like that. That is no problem at all. Oh, they got a lot of 30s. Oh. Because it didn't roll right. Whatever, it's fine. Why didn't it roll correctly?
Because probably each character sheet has to be set to the correct rolling scheme.
Okay, whatever. They just get to go last. All right, Dorthandrel, go ahead, take your turn.
So I have a move at 10, and then as my action, I'm going to move up, trying to stealth. So do you want me to roll stealth, or we just until they're looking for
because they're surprised, they automatically lose any opposed rolls. So you do not need to roll stealth.
All right, I am hidden in there.
All right, Astaroth, you're up.
I believe you just went to the restroom.
Okay, we'll skip him and come back. Finn, you're up.
I can't reach them in melee, right?
Let's see. You have a movement of 3, I believe. So in combat, your movement is...
So as a move action, you can run 12 yards. And then you can use an action to run another 12 yards.
Yes.
Plus an athletics test.
you could run to get into combat range with them. They are too far away for you to charge. Or you could move 12 and then take a defensive stance, or you could just move 24 and get up in their face.
I'll move 12 and dodge.
Okay. So you'll take a defensive stance, focusing on dodge. Cool. Sigmund, you're up.
With my 4 movement, can I charge, or are they still too far away?
Let's see. So with a movement of 4, you would be able to move. So it's times 4, so 16, 32. No, you would not be able to charge, because you can move 16 yards in a charge.
Okay. Then I will also move up. It'd be 8 for me.
16.
16. Okay.
Yeah.
Then I'll move up 16 and focus on parrying. This is my defensive stance.
Okay. And then we will wait for Hurls to get back before we do the next thing.
I'm here.
Oh, perfect. It is your turn.
Okay, I'm going to move up next to Thend.
Okay.
If I can.
Do you want?
And
oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I would. Could I take an action as well? Are we actually in combat now? Or are we still
No,
in
you're
between?
in combat. So that was your move action. So you can now take a regular action.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna loose a bow at the dog.
Okay, you want to shoot the dog-headed guy in front?
Yes.
All right. So roll me an attack. There's no bonuses or penalties. It's just a regular shot. Actually, wait. You are in. What is point blank range? I think it's half of your normal
Half
shot.
is short. It's like a 10th of your range, or 2 yards.
Yeah, it's like super. I think it's like basically close combat range. So you're not okay. So it's just a regular shot. Fire away.
That's just average.
Yep. No, not average. Challenging.
Counter. Okay.
But since it's a shooting attack at not point blank range, he can't try to dodge it.
Did our
Ooh!
advantage get reset in between?
No, it's been short enough. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Damn, Astaroth with the dice today, dude. All right, so Astaroth runs up beside Thend, pulls back his short bow, and just fires off a shot that just tears towards this creature. Oh my good God. How many wounds does he have? Yeah. The arrow tears through, and the creature has enough time to pause from its mewling to look up before the arrow thuds into its chest and it goes down without a sound. All right.
Praise be to Tal.
So with that, your opponents are now keenly aware of the fact that you are here, but since you surprised them, we skip their turn. It is now Dorothandrel's turn.
Since they don't see me, are they surprised if I jump out of the woods out of nowhere?
Oh, yeah, or is that a secondary surprise?
You will be able to surprise the one that you go for.
Okay, I'm going to charge the guy with the crossbow because I don't want to get shot.
That's fair. You will get a plus 20 to hit him.
All right. So charging doesn't give advantage. It gives a plus 20.
No, it does give advantage. The plus 20 is for surprise.
Okay.
So
under advantage, it says you gain 1 advantage for attacking a surprise target. Is that the case for this?
Yeah. Then yes, you would gain... And then swing.
I'm going to re-roll that.
Well, hold on. Let him roll first. Let's see. Surprise. No, he cannot defend himself. So yes, you do need to re-roll it. Otherwise, you will just miss. All right, a marginal success.
Average. So 3 success levels because I missed the average. I did challenging by accident.
All right, so you're gonna do 8 damage. All right, so you run up to this man who has a very reptilian visage. He's covered in these strange-looking thick scales, and he's far more. He has his attention suddenly turned on to the dog man that just got taken down, so he doesn't notice you until you're literally on top of him. And you swing, slicing into him, but you do notice that the scales actually do make him tougher than you he has any right to be. So you're gonna hit for 5 plus 3 is 8, which he subtracts from armor and toughness for that. So he's gonna take that much damage. Okay. He hisses at you in pain, and you can't help but notice the forked tongue that comes out in your direction from between his teeth. Gain another point of advantage. Astaroth, you're up.
Right.
I am going to continue to run forward. I'm going to move up about...
you are within charge distance now if you would like to charge.
No, given the position of our opponents, I don't want to charge it and get surrounded. But I'm going to continue to move forward. And I'm going to let off another bow for... is that an ogre on the left?
No.
Or some...
It
no,
is a mutant with a disgusting pointed crown of flesh and bone coming out of his head.
Yeah, I'm going to try and remove that head from its body. So I'm going to charge forward, and while I'm still running, pull back with all my strength and let loose another brown.
All right. Take a shot.
Still average.
It will... No, it's... actually,
yeah.
Fun fact. If you shoot at these two guys, because they're right next to each other, you're technically firing into a crowd. So you would randomize which one you hit. But if you want, you could fire indiscriminately at the two of them, which would give you a bonus.
Okay, yeah, so let's do that instead. So instead of aiming for the mutant with the crown horn on his head, I'm going to run forward and just... I see the two of them basically right next to each other and let loose a bow and hope that Tal guides us to one of them.
So it'll be between these 3. So it'll count as shooting it at a small group. So you gain an additional plus 20. So it will be average.
Okay.
Shouldn't it be easy for short range? Since...
Oh, yes, you're within 10.
That's out of 20?
Yeah, so you're going to be at plus...
40 for an easy?
No, you'll be at plus 60 because those will stack.
Oh, okay. So very easy.
Well, it's 20 for short. Point blank is 40.
Oh, sorry. So it would be 40 total. So it would be easy.
So it is 40. Okay.
Yes. All right. Roll me a D3, and we'll do left to right. All right. So you fire off another shot, and the arrow goes slicing through the air, and the creature with the pinhead starts lumbering your direction before the arrow just finds itself perfectly straight through his left eyeball, through his brain, and punches out the back, and he goes down. Jesus Christ, Astaroth. All right, gain another point of advantage.
Thank you.
And I think you have quite a few. So just as a note, one of the rules we'll be playing with is max advantage, which is that the most advantage that you can have is equal to your initiative bonus. So
Okay.
if you have an initiative of 35, the most advantage you can have is 3.
Okay, so I have a 34.
Yeah,
So
so you
3.
cannot have more than 3 advantage at a time.
Okay, and I think I have 3. 1 for my first attack on the mutant, 1 for the surprise attack on the dog.
Yeah, and
I just got, right?
Yeah, that rule I find tends to be fairly reasonable to prevent players and enemies from getting like
Just
nightmarish.
stacking.
I have 12 advantage.
Yeah, there.
I can do whatever I want.
I will go ahead and warn y'all in advance that there may be creatures you come across that will be exceptions to this rule, but they will be like boss monsters, not regular people. All right. So that is it for Astaroth. Finn, you're up.
All right, my charge is 12, right?
Yes. So you are a little far away. But tell you what,
All right.
if you want,
Hey,
A,
Finn.
you could always throw something at them. B, if you want, you can roll. I will allow you to roll an athletics check, a challenging athletics check, and if you pass, I'll give you that last little scooch that you need. So that's up to you. Good, Sigmund. That's going in the book. Or you could just run up as close as you can and literally just throw something at one of them. That also is a viable option.
I will try the challenging athletics.
All right, just don't crit fail.
Come
Preferably
on.
pass.
I would like to reroll.
Fair enough.
Come on.
You got like a little. Well,
Oh,
not a
boy.
crit.
No more
Close.
athletics for the end.
All right, so no, you're winded. You can move your regular movement, but you're not going to be able to. You're not going to be able
Alright,
to
I'll
juice it.
I'll trot right up to their faces, and you know what? I'll throw my dagger at the closest one.
We're gonna count the athletics as you really tried to pump it. You just didn't
Alright.
quite make it. Sigmund, you're up.
I would like to charge this one on the left.
Okay, charge away.
Sure. Yep.
So because
like
you're
to-
charging, you immediately gain a point of advantage,
Okay.
and then swing with whichever weapon you would like. He will try to oppose you. See, that's goat leg boy.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be Eric.
He can. Can try.
He's gonna try and parry you with his spear. And he fails. Miserably.
So I do 12.
Yes, so you're gonna do 12 damage. All right, so you run up and he brings out his spear and goes for a thrust at your leg, but you manage to dodge aside, and using the momentum of your little hop, you bring your sword slicing around, and it cuts straight through his left leg, and he goes down with a scream as blood just gushes out before quickly falling silent. All right, things are looking not great for the band of mutants. So they're leader, Mr. Scaly Skin here.
I get an advantage because I won that, right?
Yes, you gain an advantage. All right, so their leader realizes that this situation is not great, and he is going to attempt to flee from battle because he does not care for this nonsense. Yeah, all right, so he is going to just try and flee into the forest. Dorathandrel, you will be able to make attack of opportunity at him. Oh boy. Do you happen to have any rerolls remaining?
I do not. I have one.
Would you like a dark deal? Or will
let
you
me
just
check
or you
how
just take a
much
fumble?
corruption I can handle.
I believe it is more you roll once I think it's like your toughness plus your willpower bonus. Once you go over that number, you start testing. I'm 99.
No, I will live with my hubris.
Okay. Then please roll a d100 for me for the oops table. Oh my dear God.
I'm really regretting my hubris.
Yes. All right.
Would you like a dark deal?
Too late. Dorathandrel, you swing your dagger trying to take advantage of from this creature as he turns his back on you to run into the forest. But as your dagger hits him, you didn't realize that the scales on his body were even thicker, apparently, on his back. And your dagger rebounds out of your hand and sinks into you. So you are going to stab yourself. Roll me a... as it bounces off, you don't stab yourself, apologies. The blade comes out of your hand and slams into your face. The hilt of it, receive a stunned condition.
Ah, lovely.
And he runs away.
I'm gonna take a wound for that, because I feel like I should.
Do not, because it
Okay.
would have stipulated specifically. Though you're actually lucky. If you'd rolled a little lower, you would have got... I'll put it this way. If any of your allies had been within reach, you would have stabbed them full on, but it very specifically specifies that if you're by yourself, you just get stunned. So I am not going to enforce that, but it's going to prevent you from pursuing them, so I'm fine with it. And this creature, the last remaining mutant, who is a hulking, he's the largest of them, looks around for a moment and lets out a childish from his very small head, which is incredibly eerie. Yeah, he's stupid. So let me see if he... Oh, okay. So his boss, if it is near any allies without stupid, they go... Okay, so yeah, his boss... Yeah, you hear the scaled individual yell, "Let's get out of here!" And the giggling behemoth with a tiny head lumbers after him. And runs past you, Dorathandrel, but you're stunned, so you can't do anything about it. Does anyone want to attempt to pursue them, excluding Dorathandrel for the moment?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, I do.
All right. Those of you who are pursuing, you will now enter a brief chase. These guys are going to be very hard to catch. They actually know this area. You do not. So this will not be easy. Dorathandrel, you can join the pursuit, but you're going to start at a bigger penalty than anybody else because you lost a round to being stunned. Also, actually, at the end of the round, Dorathandrel, roll me a challenging endurance check, and you do not get any advantage because you gained a condition.
Yep.
All right, so you were fatigued instead of stunned. So you may join the pursuit if you would like.
All right.
All right, so everyone that is joining the pursuit, you are all going to roll, what is it, athletics? I forget. Are there
Sounds like
updated
if we're running?
Are there updated pursuit rules? I feel like there are.
I can't remember off the top of my head if there are.
Okay, we'll just use the classic ones. It's fine. All right, so everyone roll me a challenging athletics check.
Is that from the combat tab?
No, this will be from the regular tab
okay.
because your advantage will not assist you with this. Ooh.
All that.
I know for a fact there's an updated pursuit.
Oh.
Okay. Whew, okay. So, Sigmund, you have surprisingly exhausted yourself and are still haunted by the images of your friends. So you like kind of start jogging afterwards, and then you start taking in the visuals of the fact that all these people have been horribly butchered. And there's one body in particular that suddenly grabs your attention, and we'll come back to you in just a moment. So you are out of the pursuit. Dorthandril, you rolled an 87. Okay. So let me roll for these two real quick. We'll start with the boss man. They are going to have a slight advantage.
Up in Arms has the new pursuit rules on page 127.
Ah, you brilliant bastard. All right. 120. Yeah, here we go. Distance required to escape. Y'all are out in the dense forest, so they only need to get ahead of you by 5. And they're going to start with an advantage of 1. Well, no, the giggling giant is going to start with an advantage of 1. Nude is going to start with an advantage of 2. All right. So I'm going to roll for them. Pursuit. Okay. Is athletics strength or agility?
Agility.
Agility. Okay. And then his agility is actually higher, which is weird. Wow.
Woo!
That's the third 100 this combat.
Yeah. Okay. So, Astaroth, you actually flat out catch up to both of them, the giant and the one with the crossbow, and everyone else is new. So the one with the crossbow, who clearly is in charge, turns to the giggling one and says, "Deal with him!" and keeps running. And the you hear a "It's something to play" as this creature turns around and hefts an axe in your direction.
Okay. I attempt to dodge. Probably attempt to dodge, right?
You're coming up on him, so I will allow you to go first.
Oh. So I'm coming up to him.
Yes, you may count it as a charge.
I am going to. If I attack somebody at the end of my turn after my movement and attack, can I brace or like block, or is that not?
Because
no. Okay.
You have to use an action to attack. However, like if you were attacked back, you could then take a dodge or parry action in response.
So if I shoot the scale, if I attempt to shoot a bow at the scaly guy before he gets away, would I have at least an attempt to block or dodge the stupid guy's attack?
Yeah, you could
Okay.
try and avoid it. Yeah.
I'm going to take that gamble because I don't want this slimmer and faster of the two to get away.
Okay.
So I, instead of targeting the bigger guy who's coming at me, I'm going to loose a bow at scales.
At the boss man. All right, take the shot.
That's challenging.
Yes. Actually, no. It's going to be it's going to be harder than challenge.
Okay. Well, I didn't make it anyways, so.
Do you want to re-roll?
Do I have any more fate points?
Fortune
I
points.
do. Fortune points. Yes, I do. I will re-roll that.
Go for it. So you're at an additional -10 due to the trees and the rain and the dark, and there's a lumbering giant coming at you.
So it's difficult. Okay.
Yes. Unfortunately, he vanishes into the darkness, and now you've got a bigger problem. Down comes Terrans, giggling like a babe. All right, he is going to bring his weapon swinging down on you. So he is going to roll with his hand weapon. You may roll a dodge. You cannot parry. Well, I mean, you could try and parry with the bow if you want. Luckily for you, he rolled like absolute garbage.
Is that still a difficult?
Yes.
Because of the trees and everything. Okay.
No. It's challenging. Oh my god. All right. As this creature runs up and swings his blade down, you effortlessly, without even the slightest hesitation or acknowledgement of this creature, simply step aside. And because you rolled a damn 1, I will let you roll one last shot at Nude's back.
Oh, at the scaling?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, let's go.
Because you are so smooth about that dodge that you just are able to cleanly draw one final arrow and fire it from your short bow.
Okay, let's go. I pull back with all my strength. I'm gonna ask Paul to guide this arrow for a difficult -10. Oh my fuck!
Do you have one more reroll?
I have one more reroll, and I think I'm gonna use it.
All right.
That's a 0, and let's do a reroll
Your dice
for
is such-
-10.
Jesus Christ.
Ah!
The hubris. Roll me a D100. Oh, I love when temptation leads to downfalls. Sorry, I'm rooting for you guys, just to be clear. I just find that funny.
Yeah.
All right, just the odds of that. All right, so you rolled a 20. All right, as you go to smoothly fire this bow, unfortunately, you get the very dreaded, for anyone that's ever shot a real bow, I forget what it's called, but as you...
the string burn?
Yes, as you release the bow, the creature next to you kind of lunges, and it knocks you off just enough that the bow scrapes across the inside of your arm. You take 1 wound. Ignoring armor and everything.
Is that left arm, right arm? Does not matter.
It doesn't matter.
Alright, so that's a 13.
Yeah, so you take 1 wound, and because you took damage, you lose all of your advantage.
Okay.
All right, now very quickly, Dorathandrel and Thend, roll me a challenging athletics check real quick.
Oh, is this part of the chase?
Yes, this is the chase.
I am refraining from chasing into the forest.
Fair enough. Yeah, that did not go well last time, did it? Dorathandrel, you do come up on the 2 of them if you would like to try and attack the thing.
Yeah, I'll charge and swing at the big guy.
Okay. You do get an additional +20 for outnumbering.
Alright, forgot to add advantage, so I'll just add it to that.
I'm
I'm amazing at combat.
Well, hold on. Let's see if he let's see if he can
Dodge worse than you do.
Can he parry aside the elf? Yes, he can. Oh no. Okay. Well, that sucks. So he is going to crit. Are you wearing any armor?
No, I do not wear armor.
Okay, so he is going to crit your 56. What is your 56?
Body.
body.
Body, okay. You do not have any damage, so he doesn't get any bonus. He just rolls another flat D100. 65. Painful cut. All right, so as you approach, you bring your dagger slashing down, but this idiotic creature, just through some almost supernatural sense, seems to note you're coming, and he turns and slashes his blade upwards, and it catches you across the chest. You're going to take 3 wounds. Then you're going to gain 2 bleed conditions and a stun condition. Then you need to take a hard endurance test. Plus
Stun gives a -10, right?
Yes. So you're going to be at -30 total.
No, I'm going to be at -40 total.
Oh, because fatigue. Yeah. Oh,
Wait.
wow.
Oh,
Hey,
I put 20 instead of the minus. Yeah, that's impossible to make.
But
wait.
still,
Yeah.
you only target. You rolled a 15. The target number was what, a 13 then?
No, it was a minus something.
Oh, okay. Well, the lowest it should go is a 1. So you. Okay. So so you will pass out from the pain, and Astaroth, you see the elf just get this horrible cut across his chest, and blood literally just splashes out, and the elf lets out a genuine scream of agony before collapsing to the ground. It is now your turn, Astaroth.
I'm going to scream out for Sigmund and then, Sigmund, then! I need you, come on! And I'm going to use my sword and attempt to attack.
Okay.
That was the hand weapon sword. Is it still -10 or challenging? Is it just -10 from where I'm at, no matter what, from any weapon?
No, that was only for shooting.
Okay, so what is it for my sword?
Challenging. Normal.
Challenging? Okay, sorry.
No, you're all good. I was thinking. All right. You bring your sword slashing around as this creature starts giggling, looming over the elf, so delighted what it's done and ready to engage in even more fun. And then suddenly it looks down after a weird noise and realizes that its right arm is gone. And the creature turns and lets out a before you bring your sword stabbing forward into its heart, and it lets out a small gasp before collapsing to the ground dead.
Can we hire someone to go investigate what script Hurls has running?
Yeah, really? I don't know, dude. Could have shared the love a little bit there.
I'm running the script of call.
I think it went, oh, you don't have Rerret. Let's have a mini Rerret this game.
Yeah.
All right.
So is the boss gone? Is he
he's
completely gone?
He's gone. Ain't no way you're catching him. If he didn't know where he was going, and it wasn't getting dark, and it wasn't raining, and it wasn't in the Drakwald, you'd have a chance.
Yeah.
But with that, combat comes to an end. Turn that down. And as you're all standing there for the brief, you're standing over the body of the elf, who is still bleeding, I might add, which is not good. Sigmund, you have discovered a body that caught your attention among all of the other bodies, because it stands out to you in a very significant way. Because as you're looking at it, you realize, looking at this man's face, he looks exactly like you. And that's the end of today's session.
Okay. I was just gonna say, yeah, my wife's gonna kill me. quick question though before I go. Not to push it any further, but could I use track to continue just for a shorter distance to pursuit and try and make sure this guy gets away, or is it just like not like? Is it just over?
Do you have tracking?
I do.
Roll me a track test very briefly.
Challenging.
No, it's going to be hard. So -20, and you don't get any bonuses.
Impressive failure. Okay.
Okay. I was gonna say, knowing you, you might roll another one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Great job. Awesome session today, guys. We got a lot done. So you are all gonna get 130 experience.
Nice.
Awesome.
We will deal with the elf bleeding to death and the ramifications of everything that's just happened, including the discovery of this man who looks exactly like Sigmund. Like it's not like he's eerily similar to you, Sigmund. He is you.
Cool.
But in any event, that's gonna be it. So make sure you get experience. Please make sure you spend it before next session. And go ahead and reset your fortune points to back to full. That way you don't forget at the start of next session. And that's it. Thank you all for joining.
I had a ton of fun today, guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm sure you did.
I know, it's like going to the casino and everyone's like leaving with like, oh, I used all my money, and one guy's like, oh, I had a great time because he won like $2,000. Couldn't lose.
No, I didn't just lose my money. I also got blamed for cheating, and the bouncers took me out back.
Yeah.
Oh my man.
And then I beat up the bouncers.
We have had some, y'all have had some, like, Astaroth's here just critting every baddie. And then poor Dorothy Andrew's like, I want to participate. Just gets immediately ripped.
Yeah.
Watch my tactical finesse of +40 on everything now.
Yeah. The good news is Dorothy Andrew will probably be fine, and none of it's permanent damage. The bad news is he's going to have like 8 fatigue conditions by the time this is over.
When you get to Altdorf, he's gonna. Yeah, I'm just gonna go into a hotel and sleep for 6 years.
All right, dude. Dorothy Angel's been having a rough adventure.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, boys.
Yeah, that's it. Everyone is free to go. If you have any questions, I'm here for a second.
All
But
right.
feel
See ya.
free to depart. Great session, guys.
Bye, guys.
I'm just gonna roll my disease now.
Why would you get a disease?
I took a crit during combat.
Ah, yeah, you're right. Yeah, just go ahead and roll with the -10 for fatigue.
-20, I have 2 fatigue conditions.
I don't think fatigue stacks.
It does.
Are you sure?
Whenever you lose a condition, you gain a fatigued. I was stunned twice.
Yeah,
so
but
almost...
I'm pretty sure even if you have multiple fatigues, you do not. I don't think you stack the percentage debuff.
you shouldn't up to 30.
Let me double check. Hawk, did you have any questions while I'm looking this up?
Yeah. Is there any chance that Stefan has a copper badge on him?
No, did not.
Okay. It's the last trapping I need to be able to level up.
Oh, never mind. He did. Sorry, when you said copper badge, I thought you were talking about the pins from the Sigmarite crazies. If you mean like a badge of like your station, yes, he did.
Okay.
Or if you have 3 fatigue conditions, you suffer -30 to all tests under multiple conditions.
Oh, that sucks. All right. Oh, I think it's different kinds of conditions don't stack, but if you have multiple of the same condition, they do stack.
Yeah, so if I'm stunned, I just take the -30 from the fatigue because it's bigger.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Roll your impossible endurance check. Because we would roll it at the end of combat. Well, you almost made
so
it.
Close. That could have almost succeeded.
All right, so you have a festering wound, I believe.
Yep.
No.
Back on the Nurgle train.
Wait, is it a festering wound?
I believe so.
From a minor infection. hold on. Let me look up this rule real quick. Is it up in arms, or is it just trivial injuries? No. Or is it only in the
I haven't looked it up in arms because I haven't run a game with it, so I don't know if it's different. Oh, it's a festering wound is a plus 40 easy endurance test.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure you're actually fine.
Yeah, so with a plus 40, that's a success.
Yes. Yeah, where does it, just because I want to make sure I know where it is, where does it even say that you have to take, because I know that's a rule, but I'm trying to remember where it's written.
Is it at the end of combat?
Because I'm pretty sure it's still in effect. I just don't remember where it's. Wounds, critical wounds. Page 159. No, that's how critical. Oh, medical condition. Because I know that's a rule, but I'm struggling to remember where it says it.
Yeah, actually don't know where it is because I just remember it because at the end of combats in Foundry, it goes like, oh, by the way, these people need to make tests because they took a crit.
Yeah. Whatever. I'll find it later, but I'm pretty sure you do get the plus 40 because I'm pretty sure it's just a festering wound check.
Yeah. So
action combat. Oh, I think it's the minor infection. Yeah, you fail if you fail a very easy endurance after a combat where you suffered a critical wound. It's very easy.
Okay.
So yeah, you pass with flying colors. So amazingly, no, you did not get a minor infection. Praise be.
All right. Praise be.
You pass an endurance check. I can't believe it.
It only took a plus 60.
Yeah, and like 7 sessions. All right. Cool. And we will deal with your bleed conditions and nonsense next time.
All right.
All right. Thank you all for joining.